for Street Fighter League action today is going to be Division F, and that F is going to stand for some fantastic fights, man. The docket is looking ridiculous, and I can't wait to see the action. But before any fisticuffs, we're going to run those introductions. My name is Senkola. I'm doing Vicious, man. Let's get into this. How you doing, brother?
I thought you were going to hit me with the F stands for fire, because I would say you are 100% correct. If it is anything like what we had experienced in Division S for their very first day, best believe it's going to be electric all the way through. With the first day, obviously, there are some nerves that kind of settle in. There's a lot of introductions to teams that have never really played against each other before, because after all, this is only really like how many times do they get to kind of like face off against each other in something like Street Fighter League, in something like a team format, double round robin, 30 whole games to play. There's a lot to really consider, man.
It's all going down, and we have our lineup. Actually, you can see on the sides right there. Shouts out to production. HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka versus DetonatioN FocusMe. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN versus VARREL. And this one is something that a lot of people have been waiting for, me especially. ZETA Division, Geekly versus Reject. To round things out, it's going to be barn burgers and bangers all the way through.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we were talking about it just now. We had seen who's a part of Division S. We had seen who's a part of Division F. This is what I want to make sure is very, very clear. We have, obviously, 12 teams in total, 6 teams split apart based off of how they were competing the previous season, and kind of like talking about the overall skill levels too. I kind of talked about it in the chat a little bit. But when it comes to every single game, right, there's going to be teams placed on either the home side or the away side for the first half of the season, with the away side calling their player and character order out first. Keep that in mind. While the home team gets to call their order based off of that information. Within the team match, the first and second game are going to be best of 3 worth 10 points each, whereas the anchor match, that will be best of 5 worth 20 points. If it comes down to a tie, an extra match will be enforced, where the 4th player of both teams are forced to face off against each other in a match deciding best of 3 worth an additional 10 points. During the match, each team is also allowed a single timeout that can only be used once if and only if a loss does occur. Hence why we see some of the pauses in between. But again, we talked about what's at stake here, right? Towards the end of the season, the top 3 teams of each division will proceed to the playoffs phase. And ultimately, the top 2 teams of the playoffs will proceed into the fated showdown of grand finals. There's a lot on the line in regards to being the prestigious champions of Japan, moving on to face off against the other champions of the world for both Street Fighter League US and Street Fighter League EU. But there also happens to be a pretty sizable monetary compensation, which Senkola will definitely talk about in just a bit, right? But as it stands right now, just in case he's not here, I will be covering that as well. But get really acquainted with the home and away rules, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be what really separates the teams into those playoff spots. These points are going to matter ever so much as we get into those final moments of the round robin. Welcome back, Senkola. You feeling all right? Everything's cool?
Sound better? Do I sound good? Are we all right?
I think you sound better.
You know what? I'm excited to see what's going on. You go over the prize pool, as you mentioned, 15 million yen in totality. That is 9 million for first, 4 million for second, and 1 million for third. That's 50,000 yen supplementary on the side too as well for the champion team players. That is quite a bit of yen. I don't know what that is in burger bucks over here, but I do know that's a lot over there.
It sounds like you're in the 90s recording your voicemail message for the folks at home. A little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's feasible. I can hear you. I'm just waiting for the beep at the end of it. That's all. I'm waiting for the end of the tone. That's all it is, right? That's But you sound okay. You definitely sound okay. Somebody said you're actually stuck inside the cola can. We'll bust you out sooner rather than later. We'll figure it out. But obviously, big ups to everybody involved. I mean, to have 15 million yen in total for the prize pool is something that's just so amazing. With an extra supplementary prize given to the champion team players, an extra 50k yen. That is nothing to sneeze at, ladies and gentlemen. And obviously, it wouldn't be possible without the sponsors being a huge part of Street Fighter League. Obviously, we got Red Bulls on the desk. They're obviously a really, really huge sponsor coming into this season of Street Fighter League, along with the tried and true. We've had Taiyo Holdings as well. We've had Suzuki be a part of it as well. Galleria, the official PC of Street Fighter League Japan. Punk Workshop also throwing their hat into the ring, which is a phenomenal sight, honestly. You can see them hovering around the Galactic Arena, which is kind of cool. Right where the logo is, right? Ryu's about to punch the heck out of it. But these are also a couple of awards that we've talked about in the previous season. That was introduced to the previous season. A little bit of extra incentive for the players that perform the following, right? Our player awards this year are going to be the following: Grand Finals MVP. One player from the grand finalist teams. There's division MVP, one player from each division. Rookie of the year, obviously pretty much says as it goes. The Drive Gauge Efficiency Award and the Drive Impact Award. We obviously know what that means. The one who lands the most Drive Impacts gets awarded. You know, also there's an extra 50k yen to each of the recipients who managed to cop one of the awards, which is pretty damn cool. Like, we gotta rename the Drive Impact Award to the Unk Check eventually, but there's a lot really kind of going towards the drive of like awarding the players this time around. Not even just from like a monetary standpoint, but also like the changes towards Capcom Cup, having the players participate in Street Fighter League World Finals, and how important that is towards like qualifying or being the champions, because the champions of the World Championships, a little redundant to say that word over and over again, but the ones who come out on top in the World Championships qualify for Capcom Cup for the following year, which is a super big deal because it shoots them up into the singles division, right? And also gets them into EWC the following year. So a lot to really keep in mind going forward into it. I hope St. Cole is okay. He hasn't blinked in a minute, in a couple of seconds now. But obviously, we have a brand new ambassador supporting Street Fighter League and also conducting a lot of the winning team interviews. So please look forward to VSPO, our beloved VTuber group, hanging out with us throughout the entirety of Street Fighter League Japan. Looking forward to their efforts and their energy throughout the season. It's going to be really, really cool. With that said, too, we want to make sure you guys are fully involved with everything Street Fighter League Pro Japan this year, so we highly encourage you guys to check out their account on Twitter. Capcom Fighters _JP is primarily where you could find them. There's also a hashtag for it. It's Street Fighter League, but also the characters are in Japanese. I'll probably get that in the chat eventually. But if you ever want to follow along from like the English side, you can always follow at _Saint Cola. Myself at Vicious FGC for any of the retweets, possibly for any of the scheduling, any sort of information that needs to be passed down. You could also hit us up with that. We are more than happy to receive the information you guys give us and also reciprocate whatever you guys ask of us. So just make sure to kind of take advantage of that, right? The lines of communication will always be open to you guys, especially if you guys are up late with us live right now. We will always do our best to kind of respond to you. Myself and St. Cola are also doing as much as we can to kind of bring ourselves to the chat and let you guys know we are absolutely live. Like, I'm gonna, you know, obviously press 1 if you guys are ready for Division F Day 1. Obviously, this is live, right? You can see me in the chat. So be sure to let us know how you guys feeling about today's matches. If you have any questions or any tidbits that myself and St. Cola might be missing out on, always let us know. If you guys are in Japan, obviously there's been a lot more support in the entirety of Japan, doing a lot of watch parties, doing a lot of like fan caravans, of being able to meet some of the players. I know Red Bull Gaming Sphere is also going to be doing something live with a lot of the players there, probably conducting some of the matches, possibly. I don't know how they're going to set that up, but they will be playing head-to-head at some point, not just like the confines of their own like organizations, streaming setups, etc. But these are some of the places that are currently hosting Street Fighter League Japan week after week after week. It's going to be pretty sick, actually. I know MOV's bar is somewhere in here. I was definitely retweeting that a little bit earlier, but so many places throughout Japan to check out Street Fighter League Japan live, and it's going to be so cool to see it. But as it stands right now, you already know what it is. We see who's on the home and away side. Our first match is just about to begin. It's going to be Hiroshima Team Ikuza going up against DetonatioN FocusMe. Let's start things off. Our debut with Adelaide, the young man here to seize the future. Really excited to see what he's all about. One of my favorite players to date, honestly. Akira with the ever impressive lightning fast Cammy. Might be pulling out a fast one with a different character though. No spoilers. Then coming up next, the grappler instinct personified. This is Hibiki with that ever-impressive Lily. And now stepping up to the plate as captain yet again, it's the Duelist! Also another one of my favorite players, it's Aqua! Coming in with that JP, possibly with the Blanca. But he did state that he will be playing JP as his main for now. But as it says right now, or as it stands right now, I know you guys are asking a couple of questions. These are all Japanese players with the exception of one, and that is Lashar, which we will get into eventually. He's obviously from South Korea. He's living in Japan and playing a part of Reject. But we'll put the focus on right now to DetonatioN FocusMe, the home team. These guys have a lot of work to do and a lot of promise just considering their current team composition and also the way that they've been playing over at EWC. Welcome back, Sankola. How are you feeling?
Sound better, Team DetonatioN FocusMe is what's going to be focused up here. The trickster, John Takuchi, Johnny Tech, coming through with the machine. And by your face, all the things have been corrected. But we'll get right back into the intro here. The Jade Flame himself, Nauman on the Kin or the Mai. I've been seeing a switch back and forth, but definitely like to see him more on the Kin. That's been getting a lot more W's for him. After that is going to be the unprecedented defensive master himself, Golden-Chi, the man that is #1 in mini games and seeks to be #1 out here in Street Fighter League Japan. Last but definitely not least, the Cyclone Commander. They changed up his name because he is putting people in the blender. It is Itabashi Zangief rounding out the squad. Team DetonatioN FocusMe is looking a lot more fun. They've got the addition of Goichi, who has been strong in so many games. As per mentioned, he's got the Chun-Li, he's got the Cammy if need be, and they're looking at high spirits right now.
I'm very excited to see this, man. Everything really sets the pace, obviously, in day one. I'm mostly kind of concerned with how Hiroshima Team Ikuza is going to step up to the plate. Despite being on the away side, right? That's usually where the disadvantage lies, being forced to throw out your team order and character order first. I'm just basing this off of statistics, right? I haven't been able to watch some of these players play just yet, reproducing results even close to DetonatioN FocusMe, right? Like, how warmed up are they for a team like DetonatioN going into this? Are you feeling all right? Okay.
Okay. For whatever reason, Discord's having a fight with me. They won't let me get my point off. But Hiroshima Team Ikuza, before I can even talk about what they had to do, they've already brought up their players, their characters. JP, Lily, and Ed. LA already coming up as an anchor position. That's kind of crazy to put someone who is so new to Street Fighter League right off the rip in the anchor position. But I guess that means that's why we see Akira in the extra, just in case things do go bad that way. However, that's a lot of weight to put on somebody, to put it at first to 3 where you're trying to make as many points as possible out here. But we'll see how it gets down. Maybe it's one of those confidence things where he's like, listen, I can do it. I'd rather be throwing the fire rather than not. John Takuchi going to be the first match here. Going to be going up first against the JP expert.
He's like, me? Excuse me? Funny enough, I agree with you. Putting a lot of pressure on the rookie is like a lot to ask for, but we'd seen how that kind of played out in last week's performance with Seiji Osaka, right? Takagi coming in, I guess, in the tiebreaker was pretty important. I don't know if that counts as putting on pressure as much as like putting them in the anchor spot. So I guess That's a bad example. An actual accurate example, let me fix my face, was Good 8 Squad and Sahara. But Sahara's been putting in work with the CPT, right? He's been doing a lot of the traveling. He's been at Blink Respawn. He's been at a couple of the US big majors. Hell, he's even showed a great performance over at EVO Las Vegas. I think that's a little bit different. I think he's very much so warmed up for the big spotlight anchor matches, right? But now you're comparing that to somebody who we actually haven't had a lot of time to really focus on, and that's Adelaide, right? As much as a lot of players have been kind of talking about him on Twitter, at least Japanese Twitter, it still needs to be proven whether or not they're going to be ready for the big lights of the 20-point or the 30-point ball game for the anchor match, right?
Because we've seen them, like, at least on CFN, I've seen some of these players out here being practiced, I don't want to say dummies, but really just matchup practice for Street Fighter League and for other things. We've seen them maybe do work in CFN, maybe we've seen them, like, be ranked monsters, whatever it may be. Obviously, this is a different threat, but if they're skilled players, they're going to be skilled players no matter what. They just have to adjust their mindset for the likes of Street Fighter League. That's like the different thing, you know, the team-based sort of style. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Right now, it's going to be John Takuchi, who's been well-informed in Street Fighter League for a long time, with the most aggressive Rashid probably in the business besides Oil King. Having to go up against Aqua, who has the change-up of the Blanca or JP, but it's going to stay up with JP. I think it's a fine matchup. Being able to interrupt the fireball pressure for the footsies that Rashid would like to do, he got Pierce, you know. But you don't have to worry about getting knocked down. He can charge up the fireballs and hit you with the median, smoke you for that. So we'll see what happens. John Takuchi definitely really aggressive. I want to see what Aqua does for JP. I feel like I've seen more Blanca from him, but we'll see if the JP is ready for League.
ちゃんとその盛り上げの役割の一つだと思ってるんで、ここでもちゃんと盛り上げますなんなら。
I think he's more than qualified to take on a matchup like this. I think he's very much so a very studious player. He's definitely hit up Rashid's all over Japan. He's definitely had matchups, full-on sets with Gachikun as well. He's not one to kind of shy away from practice, and a lot of the pro players definitely respect him enough to be like, yo, let's run it. I mean, it's not like they ever lack respect towards any of the pro players. They're not going to be like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to hide my stuff before we play or whatever. So you can definitely check it out. Aqua CFN also very much so open for peering, right? If you want to just like check it out for yourself and see who he's been practicing against. It's definitely very high-end level practice. And funny enough, like even if Aqua does decide to consistently play against like the Good 8 squad, they're in different divisions anyway, right? They're going to consistently practice against each other up until it's playoff time or even grand finals time. So they're not going to meet each other till way later if fate allows it. So other than that, I have a lot of confidence in both players. I think if we were to take it down to on paper, I honestly don't mind JP as much, depending on the range. I think there's a lot that he can do to kind of deter Rashid from moving forward, so long as he doesn't get a free charged up fireball to move his way in, right? Having that enhanced movement behind him against an enhanced whirlwind is pretty important, but Rashid can deter that so well with his spikes, right? Anytime a JP player sees a Rashid player charge it for whirlwind, you already know the JP player is going to try to combat it with spikes. Hence why you don't see fireballs as potent or as often in this matchup from the side of Rashid. But as it stands right now, we're going to let Senkola figure out his mic issues. Let's get into game one. Aqua versus John Takeuchi. JP versus Rashid. You can see Aqua already setting the pace, right? You saw him kind of get rather aggressive with his drive gauge and also setting it up with the spike. Yet again, damn, John Takeuchi actually got away with one fireball a little bit earlier and also sets him up nicely for a punish counter. Now control in favor of John. Trying to mix between a tick throw into a frame trap as well. He went from stand jab to standing medium punch. A slight delay possibly. But Aqua not gonna bite just yet. Creating some space for himself and a punish counter. Not too big, right? Aqua's main objective. Let's see if he can land a knockdown. Oh, good call out from John Takeuchi. We get the forward throw. Now get to set up harassment with a drive rush. What a call out against the Amnesia. The anti-drive rush check with the halted whirlwind shot right in front of Aqua's face. Big error from Aqua. Actually, it was a big read from John Takeuchi. Kudos to him. Oh, drive rush on in there. No anti-air. Opting to go for the parry instead. Not able to thread the needle against the Cyclone. Very difficult to distinguish what normal comes out first, so it does happen sometimes. Level 2 on the way in. We get the forward throw. Force the block. I like that. The parry just pretty much getting rid of the tornado. No level 2 threat, but John still able to kind of set the pace with the fireballs temporarily. Aqua, what do you do about the cyclone pressure afterwards, right? How's it going, Senkola? You alive? Possibly not. Yeah, we still get the mix-up. On the way through the cyclone follow-up, still airborne, plenty of time to react to a DI. John Takeuchi taking home game 1. Cola has been canned temporarily. He is stuck in the confines of his own soda can. But it is what it is. John Takeuchi striking first blood just within range of the low forward. Excellent time to start off that whirlwind just like that. And good call out. Using the drive reversal rather early. Aqua needed to find a way out, but still stuck in this corner. John Takeuchi gets to dictate the pace so well. Drive rush on forward. Halts himself with the cyclone. Aqua, he is nothing but defensive at this very moment. What a call out again. Option select. Not much Aqua could do there. OD whirlwind overhead. One more touch for John Takeuchi. Trying to go for a whiff punish. Very much so. Taking a couple of steps forward. Very brave. The back throw is here now. Aqua trying to dash up forward. Catch a normal meaty against John Takeuchi, possibly pressing buttons. We do get the OD, and now the whirlwind could set up for a burnout regardless, and it's going to be chipped. That is definitely a checkmate scenario. Whether or not Aqua went for a drive reversal, he was going to be cooked no matter what. Starting things off aggressively. We talked about how important the fireball game is. John Takeuchi does get thrown. Double departure set up the first time Aqua really gets to act since the beginning of the set. Level 2 incoming. Do we get the push into the corner with drive impact? We sure do. Got to shave down that drive gauge just a little bit more, just at the 3-bar threshold. I like the OD spinning mix coming in from John. A very deep anti-air now from Aqua, trying to maintain the pressure and keep the control. I'm liking this right now. Back throw. No spikes, he missed both of them. John Takeuchi could get, oh my God. He could have gotten a potential burnout. He tried to bait Aqua out, trying to do a throw or amnesia, etc. That could have been disastrous if Aqua didn't play it right. How are you feeling now, Senkola? You alive? Still not there. No worries. We're gonna get him back, I promise. I don't know if you can hear me, but he's still not there. But who is here now? Aqua. Trying to be on the board. Does set himself up with departure. OD spinning mixer. Sorry, OD whirlwind shot. My bad, chat. Into the spinning mixer, into the level 2. I'm liking this setup now from John Takeuchi. Aqua is looking rather healthy with the drive reversal or with the drive gauge, and could use drive reversal, but it's not going to be it just yet. Harassing away is John Takeuchi. Aqua has not really found a way to settle against some of the normals that John Takeuchi's been implementing, but that is an excellent jumping call out against the whirlwind shot. We do get the side switch, set up a departure. Damn, that's a beautiful combo. Drive rush on in, set up departure again. What a time to take your turn back. John Takeuchi, crouching jab counter hit. Nothing too big out of it except for alleviating the pressure, which is, in my opinion, a pretty damn good deal. One solid knockdown is all John needs for a level 2. Incoming. Great Desert Storm. This is going to be huge. Oh, even bigger for the parry. Aqua, what are you going to do about this parry? No, you got baited yet again. John Takeuchi with the perfect timing. 2 games straight against Aqua's JP. My. I did not see it coming that way. Expertly played out in timing his offense around the tornado just ending also, right? If Aqua played it incorrectly and tried to parry the rest of the tornado as it like disintegrates and as it like disappears, he'll be very susceptible to a throw, right? Because of the recovery. So that was mad smart. 1 for Aqua to know when the timing was up for the tornado, and then 2 for John Takeuchi to play around that. Really, really well done. A couple of mishaps from the side of Aqua, obviously, right? Not really understanding when to kind of take those shots with drive impact. John Takeuchi pretty much at liberty to do whatever he wants, going into that cyclone, into the airborne mix. But the biggest issue right now, Aqua trying to option select his way out of some of the cyclones coming in from John Takeuchi. I couldn't really tell based off of the timing and based off of like the sounds whether or not that was like heavy or the medium version, but Aqua has definitely been checked a couple of times over, throwing out normals where he shouldn't have, which led to so much pressure, right? That single opener allows Rashid so much in regards to the pressure in terms of like meaties and normals, right? You saw how John Takeuchi ran away with it, and the fact that JP ran out of space to kind of work with, to walk back, dash back, etc. Him being stuck in the corner was everything in that matchup. So John Takeuchi really showing how powerful the matchup can be once Rashid does get started. So really, really difficult to check. St. Cola, obviously not as impressed. He's just looking at me. He's like, why is this bald dude yapping all the time? When is it my turn? We will definitely get his turn in as soon as he leaves the soda factory. I just don't know when that's going to be just yet. However, I promise you we will get him back in time for breakfast. Nauman stepping up to the plate. Now, Nauman has had a change of pace recently, no longer playing the Shotos. He is going with Mai, which is something he has used before. I can't remember which major specifically, but let me go ahead and check that for you guys. Nauman. We had definitely seen him transition over to Mai not too long ago. There it was. Yeah, he was over at CEO, just shy of top 32. He had to fight against Aqua, which is really messed up. Really kind of funny that it turned out that way, because now he's facing off against Aqua's team, so he's probably looking for revenge. He played over at EVO this year. He was playing pretty damn well. He got top 64. He had placed with Mai, and he lost to ETA. He got eliminated by ETA, if I'm not mistaken. And then he played out at the Esports World Cup qualifier, where he lost to Just a Kid, or Jack, 0-2 with the Mai. So, as much as we talk about like how often like Nauman's been traveling, surely it's not the results that he was looking for, obviously, but this goes a long way, right? Like, you are well prepared for anything that comes your way in preparation for Street Fighter League, right? On the off end, though, you take someone like Hibiki, who's been traveling just as much. He had very similar results to Nauman over at the Esports World Cup last chance qualifier. Pretty much very similar placing. Lost to Kings Vega. I think that was on the stream as well. Very similar in stature. Also just shy of top 64 over at EVO. He took the L to Hot Dog, which was also on stream. He was a part of Topanga 6 this year. He was at CEO. He got top 64 in that, and also very active in the realm of EVO Japan against Big Bird, where he got like just shy of top 32. So both of these guys very similar in regards to their placements and also hitting the same travel routes. I think there's a slight difference between the two, because Hibiki was invited over to Topanga this year, and Hibiki was not necessarily invited, unless I'm remembering that incorrectly. Feel free to correct me, but I am looking at this from the Wikipedia page. At the same time, this is a very evenly matched, I think, in terms of preparation, evenly matched matchup between Nauman and Hibiki. However, I will say this, there's no other way to kind of say this. This is going to be a struggle for for Lily. In my opinion, if you let Lily stock up a single win charge, you're throwing the matchup away. You're generally throwing the matchup away. So I think the point here, we're going to see Nauman kind of be rather aggressive with the spacing. Not overzealous with the normals, but rather kind of like walking up into Nauman's, or to Hibiki's spaces. Let's see if St. Cola has made it. Don't know. Cannot hear him. All right. Hey, I'm going to pull someone from the chat. Hold on, wait a minute. Is that you? Cannot hear it. He sounds very far away. It's like you know St. Cola's like in the stage, right? He's like hanging out in one of the back tents trying to commentate the match. Is what it sounds like. But we'll get him eventually. My man's on a walkie-talkie? Damn. Level 1, Kaguru no Mai. Yeah, pretty important, right, to get some of these buffs out early. You don't have to like force yourself to charge a fan. Your damage output is significantly better. Standing medium punch is actually pretty godlike for a cancelable normal. Level 1 yet again. Getting it fully stocked. Look at the control. Oh, we do get the win stock. coming in from Hibiki off of a drive reversal, but still, Nauman, plenty of health behind him to take whatever risk he wanted. Backdash, calling out the command grab. Excellent choice. I might have missed the very first round. That was my fault, coming in from Hibiki. But the control is here yet again. And Nauman going for the target combo into the level 1. Hibiki trying to play it safe, right? Nauman hovering around the ranges where he can whip punish against Hibiki, trying to set up and force an error from him. 2 stocks left. It's gonna be OD fan. Low forward. You can go Kagura no Mai yet again. No, he goes for the reset and tries to get a throw. He's backing away. He's got 1 left. Lets the charge stock rip. And this is important. Hibiki eyeing that drive gauge. Now in burnout. Missing the crouching heavy punch, but still. You got the spires coming on deck. Jab to check into the command grab. Yeah. A little bit tough. Now I'm in full screen. We got 1 win stock. We could see a Spire closer up. Quite potentially. Hence why Nauman actually went for the drive rush. Hibiki with the immediate check. And the reset into the command grab. These guys are playing sick nasty. Hibiki with the big read. And also, big reaction against Nauman. You could see a slight bit of impatience. Nauman trying to pull a fast one. Hibiki at full screen, 100% ready for it. That was so well played with the standing medium kick stop. Nice work. Ooh, I like that. That is a big OS bait from Hibiki, standing medium punch, drive rush forward. It leaves him pretty positive to just sit there and block. Really, really smart stuff from Hibiki. But Nauman in control yet again. Back into the corner, level 1. We got the throw mix from the fan. A back-to-back throw mix, 4 stocks up. Not gonna throw the fan just yet. Instead, it is a strike. The big bait. Hibiki had no choice but to guess. First round going to Nauman in game 2. Oh. Hibiki striking first. Off of the forward heavy. The command grab allowing him to get the Spire charge up. The win stock could prove to be pretty deadly on the way in. OD Spire. Punish counter against the parry. A lot of damage taken in. Charge up another Spire. That is so key for this matchup. Nauman, very reluctant to throw out a fan because 1, he's not within the space to do so, and also we can't charge it in time. Hibiki, plenty of space to dump out the gauge and take the W. Big, big combo for Hibiki. Looking at match point now, the equalizer just straight from getting that win stock, but also just the control he's had and understanding what ranges Nauman wants to play at, or anybody wants to play at. Overhead block, you already know it, immediately checked. Hibiki, excellent defense thus far, does get a counter hit back throw. Not gonna charge up for the Spire, obviously, not the win stock, excuse me. That is genius! The sweep against the fan, now scoring a knockdown from the throw, getting himself another charge. Nauman though playing footsies. Kagura no Mai does get the charge. What do you do about this, Hibiki? You do have a win Spire, and you just go in with it. Why not? You get the confirm off of that. Hit or block, you're still gonna be a monster. That is Hibiki all the way, 2 games straight. What a play, and that is so smart. That is the perfect way to hedge your bets. Hold on to the stock market of the win stock, right? You put all your eggs in that basket, go all in that bull market. You went straight for the Condor Spire, OD version, and you got the confirm. Hibiki is actually a monster. Hibiki is actually a monster. I love the way he plays. I'll tell you what. Good calls. Good calls all around from Hibiki in controlling the space against Nauman, in checking the drive rushes and the impatience from Nauman, throwing out the resets, calling the right reads defensively against Nauman. Hibiki played it extremely well. He was looking at an entirely different player in a different league. Even if you do know how to play against the matchup, you're facing off against somebody who's so intelligent, like hyper intelligent when it comes to the matchups, man. So well played from Hibiki. I'm actually quite surprised, and the confirms too, man. That is pure chef's kiss. I might just call that match of the day just right off the bat, but then we have such a stacked lineup, right? We have obviously so many other teams to go, but just the way it played out in terms of like controlling the space and understanding character habits, so well done. I am a fan of all of that. no way that you can't be a fan of the way that Hibiki controls that Lily. With that in mind, though, all tied up, 10 points apiece for Hiroshima Team Ikusa against DetonatioN FocusMe. You know what that means. No fourth match coming our way, but this is going to be a significant one. Adley versus Goichi. Goichi's been on a hot streak. If you guys hadn't known, he had gotten second place over at EWC for another game, coming right back into another EWC, scoring within top 8 in Street Fighter 6, only losing in the single elimination to the champion. Pretty damn cool. Very, very impressive stuff to see how Goichi's been performing. In fact, let me pull up the spreadsheet one more time, or at least the Wikipedia page. Let me check out, dude. If you guys ever look at Goichi's Wikipedia page, look at how many games he plays, guys. It's insane. It's actually insane. There's so many. But anyways, yeah, I was pretty much correct and on the money in regards to like Goichi's performances. Top 8 at EWC, qualified via 4th place into the qualifier. Got top 32 at Evo, top 8 at Combo Breaker. What else did he do, right? This guy's a madman. He's also technically a Combo Breaker champion in a different game. So he was on point. He got second place over at Brussels this year. Like, there's a different side of Goichi, very competitive side of Goichi that has been, I guess, reinvigorated, right? He was talking about like his flame and passion as like a pro player recently. I think he was talking about it on stream and somebody highlighted it in a YouTube video, but I can't find that video just yet. I don't recall where it is, but I definitely bookmarked it on my Twitter. But he's been rather inspired to play competitively again. So he's been taking Chun-Li to a whole different approach and putting a lot more consideration in the matchups too. And you can see it, right? So funny enough, I think Chun-Li does relatively well against the Ed matchup. I think Ed struggles against like slow-moving fireball characters, and also characters that have good mobility around fireballs, right? That combination of the two feels like a death threat towards some of the things Ed wants to do, right? Like, can't really control the space as well with normals because fireballs are going to be the big interrupter. Flicker can be a little bit problematic, but I think Chun-Li's walk speed kind of gets around that pretty well. Hazanchu also a big problem if called out against like a spark. So personally, I think this could prove to be like maybe, honestly, the way it's been playing out this season, to be more so in very slight favor of Chun-Li, but that's just me. If anybody has a disagreement, I would love to kind of hear it as well, but it just generally feels that way these last couple of tournaments from what we've been seeing. But we'll see how it plays out. The third player match of our first team battle, Goichi versus Adley, game number 1. Adley also making a lot of appearances this year. Made it over to Evo. Fell short to Riddles. Just shy of top 64. Was part of Mocha Cup as well. Got top 8 in that. Been a lot more active this year. Granted, he is the rookie. A lot to kind of come by in regards to like learning the ropes and also playing against very, very seasoned veteran players, right? Oh, the down forward roundhouse. This side switch is actually going to be so important for Goichi. The picture situation is going to be so difficult for Ed to manage. Catches him standing up. And also meaty enough to avoid the OD uppercut. Oh, backs away ever so slightly. Goichi also sitting at 2 bars. There's the OD uppercut. Good call out. Way to weave past the block strings. Much more effective that way rather than doing it as an as an opener on Wake Up. Level 2. Is it enough? Damn! The best opener, actually. The best level 2 he could have asked for. He went for a heavier version level 2, by the way, to get max damage out that. That was mad optimal. Beautifully done from Adley. What a comeback. And now in full control. Goichi, are you shook? He might be. Level 2 already on board for Adley. Oh, you're hella dead. Is that a perfect? No way, dude. Adley smoking Goichi on a barbecue. That was mad impressive. Hanging on for dear life. It looked like Goichi was in complete control. Adley with the ever impressive level 2 conversion, because he was mad close. He was not afraid to let that rip pretty much close to the other side of the screen. I was very, very impressed with that. We'll be coming back momentarily, real quick. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had a little bit of a frozen program, but Goichi now on the prowl. Looking a little dry, right? He can't get a single hit confirmed going into drive rush. He doesn't want to burn himself out, so he's playing it a little bit passively until he gets that 3-bar threshold back. However, while that moment happens, Adley very much so willing to strike. Kill rush forward, faking out the charge heavy. Jump back jab against Goichi, trying to find some space, but also a way out. The fireball's going to be doing a lot of the talking, but Adley willing to hound it down, just blocking up, walking him down, back into the corner. Oh, the uppercut! What a time to let it rip. Oof. Very deep uppercut. Also getting the meaty against Goichi. One more sequence into a single hit. Can he snipe out a normal? He's trying to force it. Goichi, is he going to get antsy? He has some of the best defense in the building, and he does! Adley's still ready for it. Goichi was hanging on for so long, but he knew his drive rush was going to be in peril. He had to drive rush forward. Uh-oh. No dreams tonight, possibly? Pure aggression. No, a big drop. Again! Goichi going for Oditencho! The second time! You might get blown up. It might be a perfect hit again. Adley just needs a single hit conversion. He has level 1. No perfect though. No tick throw either. Drive impact could be a threat. He walks up to nothing. That is a parry. Adley doesn't drop the ball. 2 games straight for the Street Fighter League Japan rookie of Hiroshima Team Ikusa, putting in that work against Goichi. Hot damn, forcing the timeout. What a start for the rookie. Imagine just dunking on one of the most prolific fighting game players, not even just in Japan, but in the world. I wouldn't even know how to feel. I'm just glad I'm only calling it. That is so impressive. Timeout being called from Detonation FocusMe. Obviously, Goichi needs to change it up. A little bit of impatience. The reads have been not all there defensively against someone like Adley, but it's been very difficult to call what his offensive sequences are going to be like, to be quite honest, man. Numerous Oditencho kicks read and replied with fat damage. A lot of the drive rushes going forward, just raw, checked immediately by Adley. I am very impressed with this man. This cat is not even in his 20s, by the way. My dude was born in 2006. This dude was a literal baby when Street Fighter 4 came out. Timeout called in the play by St. Cola as well. He's staring at me so intently. He's like, can you stop, bald man? Do you mind? Honestly, at this point, if St. Cola wants to go to sleep tonight, he could. I wouldn't, I wouldn't hold him for it. But yo, shout out to everybody also in the chat keeping me company. I am reading a little bit more of what you guys have been saying for a lot of the players. And also the tidbits of information, obviously always well appreciated. If there's anything that I am missing in regards to info, always feel free to shout it out in the chat. I'll do my best to kind of read it. At the moment, I cannot hear St. Cola. I'll give him a little 5-second check if he wants to go in and go ham. Not at all. Okay. It is what it is. Goichi, a little bit refreshed from his teammates. We've seen the impact of 3 out of 5s, by the way. We've seen that a bunch over at EWC during the multiple phases in group stage, in the round robins. We can't dismiss Goichi's efforts just yet. As impressive as Adley is playing 2-0 straight, there is a chance for everybody to make that comeback happen. And we'll see if that happens today. Goichi coming on in. start off rather aggressively. Finding a way to take his turn is Adley. Actually finds the mark against Goichi, walking backwards too. Might have been a counter hit. I might have missed it. I'm not going to lie to you. It is rather late. There is a counter hit again. Adley really picking his spots carefully. OD Tensho. I like that. The drive rush in. Does manage to catch Goichi. The faster normal comes out from the side of Adley. Whoa! What? What a call out with the stand medium. Forcing himself into burnout, by the way. Taking a little bit more of a drastic measure from the side of Goichi. Might have thought maybe putting himself into burnout might have been the key to like being a little bit more unorthodox against Adley. Not having as much expectations, right? Damn! Goichi is much more active with his button presses, if you'd notice. Level 1? Level 2 instead? Yeah, level 2 pretty much guarantees it. No risks being taken, at least with the kills. But Goichi's been extremely active thus far. Oh. And now switching up the tune. Damn, Hazanchu actually getting clipped. Slightly off the mark with the spark fireball coming in from Adley. Forcing Goichi back into the corner, the slow fireballs. Controlling the pace against the normals that Ed presents. Still the containment. Oh, the Tencho finally finds the mark. Knocking on the door, no tick throw. Ever so slight delay. Goichi still ready with attack. Level 3, bang! What a whiff punish against the Fierce. That normal, so difficult sometimes to catch. Adley, definitely ready for it. Expensive, albeit very worth it. OD flip. Trying to bring him back in. Goichi forcing the corner yet again. Oh, I don't know what that... No idea what that was about. No down forward roundhouse here. Adley still gets a punish counter against him. Jumping back. Wow, the reversal. Oh, the uppercut and past the fireball. What a snipe. Bobbing and weaving. Good call out. Adley on match point. That was disgustingly sick. Still can't hear St. Cola, but I'll tell you what, we'll get him eventually. Level 2 pass. The flicker, good call out. Goichi obviously being able to utilize his specials, his supers, going through fireballs or fireball-esque type movements. Really well done. Very healthy on the drive ditch for both. Goichi sitting at 1 bar. And now at 2 is Adley. Single fierce. Oh, that could have been a giant whiff punish. More than enough damage. Level 2 incoming. 1, 2, buckle the shoe. Level 2, yes sir! That was the wackest rhyme I've ever said, but it's 3 in the morning. Give me a break. Not gonna kill yet. Overhead is blocked. Oh, both in burnout. Not much Adley can do. That's crazy. That is actually so sick. I thought Goichi had the burnout chip kill, but Adley was big living. Timeout being called from the side of Hiroshima Team Iguza. Adley having to take a little bit of a break. That was so close. The spirit of Cola enters Vicious's body, immediately starts running. That's exactly what that was. That was pretty good, man. Goichi pulling out the gusto in game number 3. A lot more active in the very start. Pulled it back just a little bit. Very comfortable, by the way. Fighting himself out of the corner. Pretty important to note. Very much so adamant about throwing the fireballs, ready for any whiff punishes, forcing some awkward exchanges against Adley too. I'm liking the pace being set from Adley thus far, forcing Goichi to the corner more often than not, but man, Goichi's rebuttals have been so on point. Tracking down the movement from Adley. Counter hitting some of the normals with standing medium punch, like knowing when it's his turn to actually press something is one thing, but picking the proper normal that'll like clip somebody on counter hit is so smart. That standing medium punch, catching the startup of Adley's, whatever medium normal Adley decided to throw out there, I think it was crouching medium punch on startup, was so slick. He buffered drive rush cancel behind it also to ensure that if the connection is made, he goes forward with it. I like that. Really, really well played thus far. Let's see who becomes the aggressor going forward. in this matchup. Like, Adeli's been playing passive some rounds. Goichi has definitely not been shy in terms of like starting off the matchup pretty aggressively. So I wonder what's going to be changing up from the side of Hiroshima Team Igusa. They are giving him, their rookie a lot of potential advice. But if you guys like Goichi, I would love to hear it. There are some doubters in there. I do hear it. But Adeli's been playing his ass off too. He still has the lead, by the way. 2-1 over Goichi. Saint Cola, are you alive? Taking a break. All right. So let's get back into it. Timeout is over. Adeli going up against Goichi yet again. Obviously, this is matchup number 3. 2-1 in favor of Hiroshima Team Igusa. This is all down to the very final match. Winner will be taking home 30 points. Can we go to a game 5? Very important questions. Flicker out of range. Goichi letting the fireballs do the talking again to walk up behind it. You can see him hovering around the crouching medium punch range. Crouching medium kick range, excuse me. My mistake. Very important tech. So much bar built up out of that too from that tech. The roundhouse anti-air. So much damage incoming plus Oki. From that drive rush, Goichi still being able to set the pace so well. Looking rather dry as Adeli. Can't go for a drive rush cancel. It will put him out into burnout. So he's going to be trying to walk it out, or at least nullifying the fireballs on the way through. But as soon as Goichi senses that, as soon as he sees the timing of the flicker, he kind of closes the gap yet again, right? You can see what the back and forth is like for Goichi. You can see him hovering around the spaces being rather annoying. But now, pretty much fully charged up. What a delay on the timing of buttons. Crouching jab for the counter hit. Full conversion, by the way. Goichi looking something nasty. Calling out the opponent. Oh my god, another big whiff punish. I almost called it a mid kick, you guys. I was like, yo, a mid kick. Can't believe it. Crouching medium. What a call out. Goichi does get the forward throw. Not going to be impatient, right? Going off the fireball instead. I definitely hear the studio talking in the background. Okay. Is Saint Cola here? Hold on. Not quite. All right. Well, Goichi's still stuck in the corner yet again. Can he do something about this new pressure from Adeli, changing up a little bit, delaying the timing for the meaty as well? Not really a meaty if he's delaying the timing. My mistake, guys. Ooh. Ever impressive how Goichi still manages to find a way out of the corner with the SPK. Trying to go for this immediate stomp. Not an overhead in this game, by the way. Just rather tricky in terms of defending against it. It does get around OD uppercut, though. That should be enough! Goichi tying it all up. He is playing so annoying in a great way. He's playing both lame and active in so many instances. Take note, right? Pay attention to what Goichi does after the fireball and what ranges he's hanging out in. It's so frustrating for Adeli. You can see it. Look, just like that, right? Good timing on the spark into fireball. That's actually great. The big change up in timing from Adeli from the fireball was so important. Goichi actually tried to ruin that momentum immediately with OD tension because he knew if Adeli gets his timing, Goichi's going to be in big trouble. Yeah, that should be enough. This is such an excellent start. It all started from Adeli's change of the pace. Right, that spark into the slow fireball against Goichi was everything. Drive rush forward. I like that. Setting the pace rather early. Trying to be aggressive, at least closing the gap against Goichi to force him to think about what normals are coming out. But instead, Goichi is the one to find the true opener. Forward throw. Dash up. Perfect parry against the Kikoken. Attempt for the tick throw, excuse me. Tick throw again. Trying to frame trap Goichi, not gonna fall for it. You do get the back throw. A lot of estate now for Goichi, but he's opting to go in. Off of the fireball, backs away immediately after the drive rush. He's chilling now. A lot of fireballs are gonna be coming out from Goichi. He doesn't even care about the drive gauge coming in, recovering from Adeli. Look how annoying this walk speed is from Goichi, right? Back throw now. Adley sitting on level 3. Looking at match point. OD, yes sir, after the drive rush cancel, good call out. But what happens now? Goichi, how do you get the round on the board? Adley no longer able to throw out the fireball, hence the spark, pretty much being a bait. Goichi's got 2 bars. Flicker catching him. Oh, Goichi has to spend. 1, 2, bang, bang. Level 2. Not gonna be enough. Level 1, yeah, you know. Level 3, I think, would have sufficed, obviously, but it would have been nicer if level 2 was going to be the one to kill it. Now, both on match point, Adley just needs a single shot into a level 2, into a level 3, and that could actually spell the rest of the round. Boom, this might be it. 1, 2, 3, not going to do level 3 just yet. Ooh, the big trade. Goichi in suspense. Might play into the hands of Adley. No spark, letting the Kikoken dissipate. Oh, weaving past it, trying to get the counter hit. What do you do as Adley to close the gap? So patient from both ends, trying to do a drive rush check. I like that, something we haven't seen just yet. Instant air legs. Punch against the throw, timing against Adley is that stand jab. Goichi getting another big counter hit, but he's backing away. He's got 1 bar. Oh, DetonatioN again. Adley getting smoked with that OS. What do you do? Oh, that could have been a big whip punish. Adley not ready for it. The handshake nullified. No deal has been made just yet. But Goichi, he's looking to strike that deal yet again. Another big drive rush check. His defense to 1 point. Throws could be an issue. He opts not to do it. Looking for a throw bait instead. Adley, 1 more strike. He also has critical art territory. Both players at a slight standstill. Goichi also has level 2, by the way. No way! He calls out the Kikoken! So smart! Adley, do you get the kill off of this? He actually does! Level 3! Critical art blowing past the Kikoken off of the drive rush. Playing Goichi like a fiddle. I was pretending to be frozen. I was totally kidding. That is crazy. Playing against Goichi's instincts and reactions. What a beast. Drive rush forward into critical art past the Kikoken. What a god. That is so sick. Damn, son. Hold up. Was that? It was 2 games straight. Lost 2 games. Clutched it out at the very end, correct? That is hard. That is hardcore and also rather difficult, especially against Goichi. I can't believe that, dude. Look at the symphony being played from both ends, right? Look at the music and the back and forth just from both players. Adley making all the right calls against a rather aggressive Goichi, then pumping the brakes on him, throwing out a couple of speed bumps in games, what, 3 and 4? That is so insane. I'm glad it came down to the final game 5. You started to see everything mold together. Damn, son. That was so smart. That was actually so smart. That is something nobody really expected, right? A full screen drive rush canceling into the critical art from that range is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well done for Hiroshima Team Iguza. Scored in 30 points to DetonatioN FocusMe's 10. Not the start that DetonatioN was looking for and expecting. Obviously, a lot of promise for that team. Oh, are you there?
Kissing the camera. Oh, I'm back. They were telling me to test, and I came back right when Adley hit that level 3 through the fireball. Can you hear me? Are we good?
I can hear you, and your camera sounds a little better.
My camera sounds a little better. Might have to take it. I don't know what's going on
your microphone sounds better.
I've changed it. I came back at the very end. Thank you for holding it down. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on, y'all, but it looked like it was an exciting match. I was watching in the stands. It looked like it was exciting. Adley taking it, you know, you put a lot of weight on these players and have them try to clutch it out and close it out. But I'm really surprised. Even 3-2 against the defensive god of Goichi. Seeing him blow through the defense that Goichi has, like, if you're good on defense, you're going to understand other people's defensive tendencies, I feel like. But it didn't seem like that was happening from the little bits that I gathered. Overall, the HIROSHIMA team Itsuka taking this, did you expect this to happen?
Hell no, son. Hell no. That was sick. I didn't know what to expect battling. Like, so I say it jokingly because I've seen the way that the Detonation camp has been playing a lot closer than I have with Hiroshima Team Igusa. The only players that I thoroughly watch is Aqua and Akira. Sometimes I'll tune into Hibiki streams, but it's very difficult for me to keep up because of like time zone differences. But Adley was a complete wild card to me, so I'm more inclined to go with like the stats that I've seen, that I've accumulated for myself. Right? So I was expecting it more so from the side of Detonation FocusMe's behalf, if not like a full blowout, at least like a tiebreaker kind of matchup. But damn, dude, this is actually such a solid start for a team that has not had the best of luck from last season going into like Street Fighter League, right? This is a very well-rounded team in terms of like the players themselves. Now that I know what Adley's all about, being able to do what he did to Goichi just now, the character roster is so important. You have a JP, Lily, Ed, and then a Mai/Cammy. That is like super important, right?
In terms of having the extra game and stuff like that, I feel like they're not missing for much. Detonation kind of in the same way, but I feel like these matchups overall were going to be beneficial for HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka in the first place. Having that Cammy is good against the Rashid, for example, even just on paper, just talking about on paper. The spread of like fighting a Lily that is as high level as Hibiki, who has gotten the best results, I feel like, in terms of Lily players from around the world. It's honestly, that's like another dark horse team that's not really a dark horse anymore. So we're going to do the interview real quick. Aqua says, I couldn't show what I practiced, unfortunately lost. But as a team, you were able to score 30 points. I think you guys couldn't predict Adelaide going in as an anchor, but we know his strength. The belief, because they have played him, they saw what he could do, his potential. But even with all that information, to be like, you know what, I'm going to put the weight of being in a team tournament, your first run in the anchor position, and just the no scare, no fear at all from him, that's super sick. The belief, though, that's going to be a big morale boost overall for that team to be like, we can trust him. Adelaide says, honestly, really happy to win the debut game. And against someone like Goichi who's been traveling, as you mentioned, Detonation FocusMe, they've been more open. They've been more out here. They've been at EWC. They've been qualifying for CPT. These cats have been like in like full frontal face. And you've seen them everywhere, offline and online. So Adelaide coming out of, I don't want to say nowhere, but comparatively nowhere, is a super sick sight to see. And he says, it's the best competitive game I've ever played. So this is his best he's probably played up to this point. I mean, with all the pressure on it, he still was able to make diamonds.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better anchor, right? Like, if your team has that much faith in you and you actually pull through with that good of a performance, then I'm sold. I'm actually pretty sold on this composition. Like, my only significant doubt was, funny enough, Adley, I mean, that's not really that funny. Adley was my only real worry. And then, funny enough, this is where the funny is. Aqua is where I was scared, because I think he's still been going back and forth with JP and Blanca. I think I like his Blanca a little bit more than his JP, because I think he plays a little bit too reserved as JP. And in the current season, I don't think it'll reward him as much, at least within the Japanese league. I think there's been a lot of players that have tuned it up and figured out how to play a little bit more aggressively. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. I think there's something that really needs to be changed in the way Aqua is approaching the game thus far. But the other characters, they definitely suit the meta and how it's been played thus far. So I'm really excited to see the newly invigorated and newly reformed HIROSHIMA Team Igusa.
It's sick to see like the variety, you know, that we have out in league. This one seems like definitely exemplifies that. Team Detonation, though, maybe not having the start that they'd like to have, you know, getting some points on the board will definitely embolden them to be better off. You know, I didn't get to see the matches obviously because of other reasons, but like, it's sometimes having a bad start could lead to a good finish. It's like, dang, we need to step up our game immediately. Better to have that like right now than like the middle of the season when you need points or when you're lacking behind. Just don't let it happen too many times. Detonation, man, like you gotta definitely pull up your game immediately, but it's good to have this happen now so you have an understanding of what it's like to be at League, a reminder. All these players, they've been at League a lot, but you're having Goichi as a new implementation. You know, he's a new player on the team. You have Team Detonation, maybe in a different meta. Of course, you know, Itabashi Zangief is switching behind the Gief and the Marisa. He's trying to find himself. And so some of these players are really trying to get a hold of what they do with, like Rashid, for example, John Takeuchi. It's not as easy to hit the level 2s. Rashid players haven't been able to find as much success. So we'll see what happens. Shouts out to all the sponsors, Galleria out here. If you want a PT that can run Street Fighter 6, you're going to get it right here. There's been a lot of support for League throughout all the sponsors, not just in Street Fighter League Japan itself, but even outside for the watch parties, for the like VTubers and things like that we see, the collaborations that are just done because people just love watching and playing Street Fighter 6. It's great to see that collab, all the collabs just come together to support the game and make this into almost a football Super Bowl type thing for people in Japan. You know, you have watch parties, you have people getting together. This is as big as, if not bigger for some people, than CPT, than the actual finals. At the finals, again, we talk about the reference, how amazing it is, and we're going to be seeing more of Street Fighter over at Tokyo Game Show. Again, you're going to be out there. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do. And I'm sure it's going to be great to be able to see like Street Fighter amongst other games.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see whether or not they're going to have like any characters playable, right? I mean, we know that Sea Viper is pretty much on the horizon. I really hope and pray that there's going to be like some playable demos for like Street Fighter 6 and also being able to check out the new Resident Evil. I'm really excited. This year's Tokyo Game Show is going to be absolutely stacked. Hopefully you guys can catch out the streams if Capcom decides to put anything out there. I mean, like obviously we have Suzuki being a part of the sponsor, so their bike hopefully is going to make it through also to Tokyo Game Show. In the meantime, we're going to get ourselves ready for match number 2. It's going to be FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN versus VARREL. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Street Fighter League Pro Japan.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
In the making, and this is mine for the taking. Cause I got what it takes. 勝はグッドエイトスクワット。よし、やるか。負けても泣くな。
新流マイラお相手しにストークはいかがですか。手加減はしない。いざ勝負よ。
いつでもいけるぜ。はい、クリアっと。へへ、決まったな。半端ねえぜ。いいぜ、付き合ってやる。水は船を乗せ、また船を覆すってな。本当だ。
新潟参上。どうもありがとう。新流ご覧なさい、私のステージを。なららなららメルティ僕、これでどう。見ててくださいね。勝利心地よいですね。危ないですよ。任務を遂行する。やる気はあるのか。ターゲットこそクリフの力を見せるわよ。私のこと甘く見たよね。やる気あるの。行くわよ。やる気あるのか。この夏ゲームの世界に飛び込もう。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン、そのゲーム作りの裏側に迫る大カプコン展名古屋市美術館で好評開催中。
And we are back with more Street Fighter League action here on the official restream. Senko Vicious joining you on the 1s and 2s. Finally, I am back. Hopefully, I sound better. But we're going to be having FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN going up against VARREL, two top-tier teams out here with some change-ups that we're going to get to here in a second. I can't wait to see what we're going to be seeing in terms of the variety, in terms of the counter picks, and all that good jazz. And it'll be good to actually see some matches in full. People, let's start it off with the away side. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, the new kids of the block last season, coming through now with the Ascendant. Oh, what a name. Tsubasa with the bust downs to the jury and some other characters in the pocket. We'll likely just see him, mostly the jury from him. The Fire Master himself, Torameshi on the sim. Coming through from the skies, we saw him do work over at EWC. We'll see him do work out here at Street Fighter League once again. The explosive fist Johnny with the Manon and what that name pertains to, the Marisa. Mommy Muscle Marisa back in business, having that level 1 as a reversal. And the last one to get it done is going to be unyielding spirit himself, Yanai, on the Bison. One of the best defensive Bisons you could ever ask for. What a stacked team overall again. Last season, a lot of new kids, but now in full force, they understand what the game plan is out here at League.
I just realized, yeah, you didn't get to watch the first match. This is gonna be your first match of the day, dude. Hell yeah. Hey, what a match to behold, though. That is a pretty fun lineup to watch. But let's talk about the home team just a bit. We got VARREL coming up on deck, obviously making big waves in the previous season, making a little bit of a change-up, right? Still, having Mago as the front runner, now picking up TS, having YHC Mochi, and of course, Mizuha. So pretty similar standings in regards to who's going to be on this team. I think overall, I really enjoy this team composition. Let's get fully acquainted, shall we? The home team coming on in with the exceptional pad master. It's TS. Hopefully he's still rocking the Akuma. I did like the way he piloted that character in the previous season. It might just happen. The Yoga Monk, YHC Mochi, one of the only 2 Dawson players to do it at EWC, coming in from a hot streak as well. Then, of course, Prince of the Rampage, it's Mizuha. I think still rocking the Kami, if I'm not mistaken. Then, needs no introduction, the 2D God, Mago-san. He's been rocking a lot of Jury. He's definitely had a Kami for quite some time as well for certain matchups. He's also been trying to play out Sagat. I wonder if that's going to be the character coming out at all, but personally, watching Mago play Sagat has been quite fun. Not as fun as the faces he's making every single time he makes an appearance on Street Fighter League, but I really do wonder if Sagat would ever be a factor here.
We're going to see what the away squad's going to put up first here. What's it going to be? FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN puts up the sim off the start. The jury after that with Tsubasa. And then close things out, hopefully, if things go their way, Yanai. But if they don't, they got Johnny with the Manon and a Marisa in the other back pocket. Now, this is kind of a wild composition considering you're putting up a sim just off the rip. And you got a Kami you have to fight that is the likes of Mizuha. So that's kind of a dicey proposition. You can get counterpicked here, but I think the other matchups that we have on the list are not too bad. But what do you think about this overall?
VARREL has an opportunity to do the funniest thing. Give me the Dawson mirror match, son. Give me the mirror match. I don't give a damn about the points on day 1. Give me the mirror match.
I'm with you.
Oh, Mizuha, come on, man. Why you gotta be smart about it? It's gonna be the Kami play. Now, I say, quote-unquote, smart about it, but I think Torameshi is well acquainted with this matchup. If you don't recall his previous performance over at EWC, let me take a look-see at which players he happened to take down on his way to his past couple of games, right? If you guys remember, Esports World Cup, I believe, was he also in like a Kami bracket? I gotta double check. But either way, when I find that out, I will definitely report back. Hold on, chat. Okay, so he wasn't necessarily in the Kami bracket. He made it out towards like the winner's side. So he does know how to play against aggressive players. I think that's one thing to note. But he did get smoked in the top 16 bracket, so never mind. I was going to set him up sick nasty, but then his results say otherwise.
be fair, though, he did fight somebody he beat over at Evo, Shanghai, and then Shanghai got the run back and kind of figured it out. But I feel like if there's going to be somebody that can fight this matchup, just in general, like historically speaking, I feel like it's Torameshi. I've seen him do well in the Kami matchup. It's not fun for him, but he understands how to use like the float in various angles where it's harder for him to get the DPs off. He's off the ground a lot, so you don't see like a lot of ground and normals, and it's hard for like even the Kami players to read like dive kick against like the stand medium or crouching medium punch, whatever it may be. And he's usually like floating with jump fierce, fireballs and stuff. The variance is going to disallow the dive kicks that usually clean up a sim player and cook them up. But again, the objective is don't let her get in. Don't let her get close. She'll break your heart and break your legs. So Torameshi, that flighty sort of style that he has compared to other sims, can be truly tested right here in a first two scenario against one of the most aggressive Kami players that is Mizuha, who'll do like round start drill. He'll do really risky stuff with spin knuckle and things like that that you don't least expect. It's going to be kind of hard to have that defense because that's going to be really tested. You don't really have good defense in the first place in sim anyway. You don't really have a bust out opportunity. Your supers are kind of slow. But we are going to get some of the interviews. It looks like Torameshi says, facing VARREL, I knew it'd be Mizuha. It's a difficult character to play against, but I'll do my best. So he came up with the knowledge that he was going to have to fight a Kami. Wow.
Very interesting. Let me take a look at Mizuha's overall record this season. He was definitely fighting in the last chance qualifier. He actually got smoked by Johnny, by the way. So there's definitely some history there. Somebody was talking about somebody getting smoked by Blaz, but I don't recall that ever happening against either of these players. I don't know if it's like if that's like in regards to like Mago or not or something, but I definitely don't recall that seeing in like the normal schedule. I really think because Mago didn't make it to EWC, at least during the main event. I know Torameshi had to fight off against like Junior, Gachikun, and then he lost to Shanghai round 1 in the single elimination part of phase 3. So
you know, Mochi?
I don't know what that.
About him?
Possibly, but YT Mochi also made it into the main thing off of the phase 3, right? So let me double check that. YT Mochi, yeah, it was YT Mochi that got smoked by Blaz, not Torameshi.
Okay, there's a correction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, some players have the sim knowledge. But back to Torameshi, definitely a different sort of style, you know, than you expect. Mochi way more grounded, but Torameshi, a man of the mix, and a man more of the flow. And with that new jump cancel, being able to, you know, cancel the jump fierce to the other buttons a lot faster, it's going to make it harder to anti-air or get that, like, back medium punch or the DP that you like to. Mizuha said, hey, I played against a lot of Dalsums in practice. I'll make Torameshi have not fun playing this game. He's like, listen, one of us is going to have fun. It's not going to be you. I'm going to dive kick through. It's going to be Mizuha go up against Torameshi for the first match. All it takes is one dive kick to get going. You got to be careful with your Torameshi.
Ooh. Dude, my man was ready, by the way. Down for a throw. Set him up full screen. Nope, can't spiral arrow through that. I like that perfect parry attempt from Mizuha, getting fully blown up by Torameshi, by the way.
Spiral arrow, he knows what this man's about. We talked about it, all spiral arrows. Torameshi with the backdash punish. Resets the pressure, calling the tap parry there. Knowing that he only has the innate defensive tactics and things like drill. Mizuha's ready for it all. Red kill, meaty crouch fierce. Air to air. Neutral jump gonna be called up. The uppercut. Oh, DP for the bust out.
I don't know what that forward roundhouse was from Mizuha, but that was actually kind of a big whiff. Like, I don't know what compelled him to do that or what the read was on that one. But that thing is hella negative, by the way.
Go for a shimmy against a throw. Go for like a stand fierce or something safer. Mizuha.
You're right.
Piece up for that reasoning.
Fortunately enough for Torameshi, able to get the first round. This is the kind of pacing we're going to expect so much, right? Mizuha, oh, getting smoked immediately.
Huge lead right now for that level 1. So much damage. Torameshi with the lead. This is what every sim player, even in bad matchups, wants to have the lead. You got to come to him, the long limbs, the fireballs. You got to take risks to find some sort of reward. Empty jump throw. Luckily, no tap parry attempt here. Reversal jab. That might be a tell for later on. Like, if you can get like a nice immediate spiral arrow, take the turn back. Don't fall in the fireball. He does. Teleport another eating of a fireball and a low to open him up. Should be able to kill Tormeshi. First blood.
He is so ready for this pick. Like, even out the gate, right? The biggest instance that you saw him being ready for Kami is the perfect parry against the dive kick. And then he went for a sweep as the punish counter for the Yoga Fire, the upward fireball setup. Look at the control out the gate, too. Right? Immediate backdash, forcing Kami to smell the foot. This is just going to be so problematic right now for Mizuha. Even if you try to make the proper adaptations, Torimeshi is just going to be so active. You talked about him utilizing that movement. Perfect parry again!
Right after. Torimeshi defense has been ridiculous. The offense as well. A missed dive kick, a big lesson opportunity, and Mizuha on the back foot. That divine kick, the back medium kick, gets a throw right after it. The one that tosses him right up in the corner, delaying the jabs every so often. Backdash, I like that. Do not get back thrown. Again, Mizuha risking it for these spiral arrows, and Torimeshi trying to be in that distance where he can punish. Back fierce, the Yoga lands on point. Backdashes away, doesn't even let it tip. Doesn't really have to overextend to get the win right now. Bro, if you jump, it's gonna be a back fierce at this range. A Yoga mountain right there. He's even showing you the buttons he can do. The jump back fadeaway. One more hit's all he needs.
That's an excellent start. We do get the whip punish, but does it amount to anything? Another whip punish from Mizuha. You're about 3-4 touches away. Make it 4. Down to 3, and there's 2. We actually could get a winning condition for Mizuha, maybe down to 1. There you have it. Mizuha actually making the comeback of a lifetime. Torimeshi with the giant choke.
Yeah, trying to do the instant overhead. Unfortunately, Mizuha backed off. He's getting better about what he's doing on on offense when he gets a knockdown. But that's too low to the ground. Back throw. Teleports out of there. DP Mizuha. Be a little bit more patient about the DPs that he's letting rip. Drive rush back medium kick. OD DP, there we go, but a little bit low on the drive gauge. Raw DP can't spin the OD right there. Careful of the drive gauge. Forced to back off and not block too much. Get burnout. Whips the throw. Jump heavy kick. Into level 1 after the blast. Fireball to get the anti. No! He tried to go for an attempt right there, but the dive kick too fast.
Yeah, that was Torimeshi kind of being a little bit overzealous, right? I think there wasn't really a lot he needed to do to force the burnout against Mizuha. He drive rushed on in there for God knows what reason and got smoked by that really insanely high dive kick.
You know some anti-airs are not the fastest in the business, so you go for like a Yoga uppercut. Not gonna be like a drive rush DP or whatever it may be. Torimeshi though, don't give it away this time. Play it cool, boy. 33 seconds on the clock. You can wind this down. You can grind this down. That's what sim players are made for. The float, but he recovers, gets the DP off. And perfect parry. The toss. Raw spiral arrow, of course, to keep that nice and meaty. Oh, not the proper combo. I feel like he could have killed.
Oh my.
We'll drive it back.
Back to back. The pickup. The pickup from Mizuha. Torimeshi forced into burnout. Insane.
Wow. Okay, so we definitely learned the matchup. All right, he's with it. He's with it. But seeing the OD like spiral arrow against the float was fantastic. Like that's definitely matchup now. So that's him understanding what's going on.
That's what it feels like. That's definitely what it feels like. Mizuha making the I want to kind of say the miracle comebacks, because Torimeshi, let's be like very frank here, he had a couple of those rounds in the bag, right? He had such a substantial life lead against Mizuha, and he threw both rounds. This is obviously going to be the decider. Mizuha starting up rather aggressively. He's found it, right? He found the missing piece to the puzzle.
Not till 30 fireball, no teleport out just yet. And Mizuha with the reactions, it's just stagger stepping some of this pressure. Being able to find the right moments, not just gonna go for aggressive opportunities where you're giving Torimeshi, oh my God. Yo, let me get my point off. My man with punish and stay medium ready with it. OD dive the DP against the dive kick. No, you're not gonna get too much off of that as a sim player. Teleport side switch. Careful the drive gates now. This was game to win right now. Even with that level 3, it's about to be juiced up. Means that Torimeshi can't throw out a bad fireball or a bad limb.
We do get the level 3 now. Mizuha, he's backing away. He is in burnout. He has to kind of chill for just a little bit. Torimeshi down forward throw, does get the setup for the fireball, full screen. But still, yeah, not really much that Dalsum could do to kind of take advantage of the burnout state via chip mid-screen, right? Torimeshi was not going to allow himself a disadvantage, but that late, very late change to the teleport to get the mix wasn't going to be enough. Mizuha now with the big opener, a single hit, can do it for both players. Torimeshi, can you survive? Uppercut! Way to snipe out the air approach, excuse me. Do it again!
Fierce.
Oh my.
Come on, is that enough? It is, thank God. And ooh, you have to spin that level 3. Trying to get fun rounds what it comes down to. Lots of work with the
That was actually kind of so difficult to call out too. Like, I could see Mizuha reluctantly trying to anti-air because of the fact that Torimeshi still has access to teleport. So it's very dicey, especially in the corner, right? Oh, too high.
Oops. Rush back medium kick again. This entry point, harassing the drive cage, forcing Mizuha to back off. There's the throw right after. It's hard to parry a lot of things that Sim wants to do because they do implement more of that low option to blow up your parry attempts. OD comment and the fireball follow-up jump. Fierce gonna be DP'd raw. The bar spit right there. Whipping the DP though, doesn't catch what he wants. Level 3 incoming, yes, up to the double blast. Not gonna kill, but it will put him in a bad sort of way. A lot of bar juice up from Torimeshi. Mizuha better play defense like his life depends on it, because it actually does. Fierce takes care of the dive kick from that distance. Torimeshi from downtown, this man's on fire.
Nice work. Excellent call out from Torimeshi. And the flex, my man immediately comes in, showing off the guns. The bicep party, Torimeshi says, Mizuha, you're invited, brother. And he is not impressed. My man Mizuha is sitting in the dark. He's like, that could have been me. That should have been me, damn it. Great composure from Torimeshi. What a beast. What a beast, man.
You have to have that as a sim player. You know, you have to fight these characters that can just rush you down, put the pressure on. But it felt like after having some kind of wily moments, he was able to kind of recollect himself and put it back together. And again, get that lead as Sim to get your win. That is the most important thing for Sim. It feels like is getting the limb and then making them feel uncomfortable. Even though the option that they have, like that dive kick, which maybe was looking for a stay medium or looking to catch like a delay fierce or something, maybe whatever. Being able to put someone in a pressure scenario where it's better off for them, where they have the tools to take you down, but you're winning, that's the Sim way. And Torimeshi, you know, he prepared for that matchup. He knew it was going to be difficult. Came out here in the clutch for his team, and on paper that is, it's not good for this character. But you see what happens when you're staying studious. You understand the tendencies of your opponent. We also saw like Mizuha going for risky things, and Torimeshi calling them out with the back medium kick. That was a continuous tool that we saw for whip punishes against bad spiral arrows. You know, we had kind of a weird instance like right here, starting off the double DI, and that was a cool catch from Mizuha. You didn't know that, at least for that option. But just the call outs, the teleports. The jump cancel, jump fierce, jump heavy kick, being able to come out quicker than you might expect. Maybe there's a little bit of hesitation in Mizuha's mind now that you have to think a little bit more about when that button's going to come out, how it's going to be weird and trying to DP.
Yeah.
And this was just a dive kick, trying to find anything, something at all to get a follow-up, but Torimeshi, too much help to give in the first place. 10 points, Fukushima, IBUSHIGIN. Now, you're VARREL. You need to get somebody up here to get some points on your side. Who do you set up against Tsubasa, the jury?
I think I like Mago in the mirror match, honestly. I think Mago has a pretty good understanding of what to do in that mirror match. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mago decides to put himself as anchor like he's done before. In this particular case, I like TS stepping up to the plate as the middleman with Akuma.
Yeah. It will be that. It's a fun matchup for Akuma. You know, she throws out a fireball, you have faster fireballs, and you're gonna hit her before she even gets close to yours. The like ability to use a light demon ray to bait out DP still works against her, even though her DP has a lot of range on it. It's still really good to bait out her anti-air options. And just in general, I think his buttons work like really well against her. Forward fierce, stand fierce are good against her crouching medium punch, crouching medium kick, things like that. And I feel like Akuma players usually still they have a good time in this matchup. Dre players usually are trying to find an answer to Akuma more often than not. Tsubasa though, his first inception, I've seen him, you know, grinding on his stream a lot. You know, he's a little bit of a tech head, same as TS is. You know, as you mentioned, TS has been mainly playing Akuma. I think the last time he streamed was like 2 months ago, and I was like, hey man, where's the kid? He was like, I'm just playing Akuma right now. So I think he's fully committed to the Satsui no sauce.
Does he speak English? I haven't been able to like check out TS thoroughly or have anybody kind of like translate for me, but I've seen him stream from time to time. I've definitely tried to pop in like a little bit of English, but I got no response.
His chat be helping out. The chat assistants.
Ah, okay.
He said this,
Gotcha.
or Sankula said this. You know, that's the best part. You know, shouts out the chat, by the way, for that. So
yeah, I definitely use like
a
Google
solid-
Translate a bunch for that for sure.
It's probably better actually.
Yeah. I cheat that way.
Let's see what he did here from Tsubasa. I'm super excited to see some of this new blood out here. Tsubasa, you know, we saw him do work. I think it was CPT Japan last season. That I believe he got like top 16 because we were talking about the representation of Dre players, and he just kept going further and further in the bracket. So it's cool to see these players that are standing out get the reward to be in league. He says Torimeshi has done it, so I can play relax. And I knew I would face TS. I'll do my best.
Yeah, that's a pretty big sigh of relief, right? Like having Torimeshi set the pace, being on the away side, like you don't know what to expect putting a Dawson player up front, right? Dawsons will always be the main target for the counter pick majority of the time. So seeing him up there is kind of like, it feels like a bait. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, is it too good to be true? Like, do we send in the player with the worst matchup, right? So after that's all said and done with, you're feeling yourself, it's like, okay, I ain't got nothing to worry about anymore, or at least a little bit less pressure. I think I'll be all right going into the next one, especially if it's like my debut match. Now I have like, I guess, some shoes to fill after the precedence has been set by my teammate, right? So I'm really excited to see it. I want to see what Tsubasa is all about. In fact, I'm going to take a look closer at what his results have been this year. He did play off at EVO Japan, just shy of top 64. He lost to Noah the Prodigy. And then he was also pretty active last season in all of the World Warriors, but he didn't really make it out to a lot of big moments in the CPT qualifiers, or at least the CPT World Warriors. However, he did manage to get top 16 at the Japan Super Premiere with that jury. He fell short to Hikaru. So he does have the chops. Let's see if it amounts to something here in the league.
Okay. Yes, we saw him like last season. Towards like the end, he was starting to show out and be a lot more comfortable. Obviously, you can see some nerves, a lot of drops, but once he feels like he is like more confident, you can see like the dominance in the footsie. You can see his game plan work out, like that stopping point, the stand fears. The fireballs, contesting, trying to keep up with the quarterback. Buffer in the Tatsu. Gonna push right back to mid-screen. And Flame does the safe one. Dash up, no check and challenge. Blocking it all out. Get tossed for it.
Oh. Even flip out to kind of create space. Tsubasa actually giving him that kind of space too. Not afraid to face off against the fireballs with some of the parries. I like him holding his ground temporarily, at least. This back throw is everything for TS. Being able to set the pace with fierces. Buffering as well. You can kind of see him. The fireball still clips. Tsubasa looking kind of dry though. We do get the activation off of the forward heavy punch. TS not willing to spend a dry reversal just yet. That was mad smart, forcing the burnout against Tsubasa and the big throw bait. That is such an excellent tool to get around anything that Tsubasa wanted to throw out in neutral. Mad smart.
I've seen a lot of Shoto players do like that forward dash, back dash, and the stand fears as a shimmy tool. Been working out effectively, especially for Akuma. That's so much off of it. Drive press jab and the fake out. Drive reversal, burns him out. TS aim for the drive cage, objective complete. Now for the follow-up. The punish, get the rest of the health. Heavy kick Tatsu to end things off in the corner. One more conversion, level 3. Should be the victory depending on the entry point. Cross cut DP, you can't leave for free. Wakes up with buttons. Wasn't able to get no counter combo though, so only jabs on the way. The anti-air is there, and the stagger stamp beers. Oh, smack with bar. Get it unchecked. OD fireball.
Oh!
Try to go the answer. We talked about that change up. It's so difficult to answer this character. He's so many tools. Dive kick, guillotines, and now sip this calamity. TS with the dive kick to blow up the crouch fierce.
My man TS hitting him with the stuff. That's what I like to see. thinking outside the box with the approach multiple times, right? TS utilizing that Demon Raid a bunch against Tsubasa. And then the Demon Flip dive kick at the end. Perfectly done. Actually, I don't even know if that was like regular jump into down medium kick, dive kick. I couldn't tell because I blinked a little bit. I just saw the tail end of the dive kick, so that might have been my bad, but still. Changing up the approach ever so important, forcing Tsubasa to hold that.
Good pull player in. Wait for the throw to happen. Off the back throw. Gonna kick Tatsu. But double as much damage right there. Break up for the meaty stay medium. That's like +4. Cross cut DP again. The overhead, you are dead. TS on set point. Yo, this cat is so different than what we saw last season. That man was fixing. Now he's active. Go to low right after. Target combo. Heavy kick Tatsu. Want that corner carry, you want that damage. Where this character can really quickly put the apron on.
Oh. A lot of damage incoming. We got the fist, punish counter. The background has to follow suit. So much damage coming on into TS, now in full control. OD fireball. Still managing to squeeze out a button is Tsubasa.
Choice to stock up. Look what happens when you have all these fireballs coming your way. Another shimmy! Another super to seal the deal. TS takes down Tsubasa. Wow.
Damn.
Who is this man?
2 games straight. It was a massacre. TS was mad ready. He was ready. Let's be honest, man. He had so many answers around the way Tsubasa wanted to play. He entered his home and he said, you know what? Me Basa is Tsubasa. He's like, I'm the one in control. This is my house now. Ain't no way you're going to be able to control me with Jury. You a tourist. I've been here with my Akuma.
Tourist new to this. But man, like TS is true to this. He has been, again, in the minds of Street Fighter League. He has felt the pain of not being able to show up for his team. He said, never again, not me. Being able to shimmy this cat continuously is something next level. And again, changing the options. So it was command normal demon flip dive kick, excuse me, than what we saw previously. But again, the variance of the options, the aerial approach, makes it hard to read what Akuma wants to do. And just his reads on what Tsubasa wanted to do was incredible on defense. He do drive rush jab to pick up the super. You saw right there, able to get the cross-cut DPs also continuously. This is the TS we see on stream when it's comfortable, and this is the TS that has to show out for League.
I'm loving that right now, man. TS about to put on a full-on playlist on how to play Goki in just a bit. He's going to go from TS to Tiesto, I'll tell you what, with the live entertainment. But now it leaves us with our anchor match. Yunai is going to be the captain to face off against the unknown FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, tied up with Team VARREL. Honestly, if I know anything about this VARREL team, and St. Cola, you would probably agree with me on this one, it's got to be Mago, right? Mago is ripping off like the button-up t-shirt to reveal the V on his chest. He's like, it's time for me to go. My people need me.
Let's go. Magojo coming up to take down the curses.
The Magojo.
IBUSHIGIN. Bro, that was curses. Last time they said that, he got bodied. So maybe that shouldn't be his nickname. That was the nickname that they had for chat, bro. That's also not a good one. But we'll see. I feel like when it comes to the anchor match, it doesn't matter about like the matchup. It matters about him having a 1st-3, showing out for his team. Usually it's Mago that is in the anchor position. And usually speaking, he cleans up very well. He cooks up very well. And I feel like even if it's not like a good matchup on paper, it's gonna be him. Yes. Of course. Who else would it be?
Yeah, it just makes sense, dude. He's literally done that every single time. Like I still have the data from like majority of the matches we've seen from like last season. Let me see. He was also part of the Division F again, right? So let me see. Day 3, day 4. All right, wait. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Okay, so from the second half, by the way, from like second half of day 6, day 7, day 8, those 3, it was all Mago. Day 9, Mago again. Day 10, Mago again. Yeah, dude, the entire second half anchor matches were played by Mago.
That dude has an addiction to being in the anchor position. That man wants the 1st-3 as much as possible. You know what? I also kind of like that because like it's like your team captain is always going to be there. Like you know he's going to always show up no matter what happens, no matter what matchups occur or player matchups occur. He is there and he'll take the weight of at least getting the most amount of points for the team on his back, so that the others will start to pick up the slack in the other areas, but not have to deal with that long first 3 match or where it really is going to count the most in terms of not enforcing an extra game or getting the most amount of points, what have you. Mago stepping up continuously. I think we're going to be seeing that as a consistent thing. We're all getting interviews from Yanai. Yanai not having the best time over at EVO. I do believe he lost like E. Waller out there at the West Coast. I feel like that's one of those. Dang, I got it. You know, shouts out to E. Waller. I didn't get to see the match, but I saw the aftermath, and I was like, dang.
Dude, that got me mad far. Like, E. Waller is from Oakland, California. Dude, he smoked hella people on the way out, by the way. That was not even Yanai's fault. That was the world not being prepared for electronic Waller, brother.
Hey, but I'm glad that he got cooked, as long as other people did too, as well as other people did too, excuse me, for Evo. Because that's like, okay, I am right here, I need to be all the way up here. Like, it's one of those humbling things that, you know, it might help you going into it. So we're getting the interviews, he said, it's against Mago. He gave me advice some time ago. I got stronger with the advice. I want to win and thank him with a win. That's the worst present you can give somebody, is an L. He's like, you know what, I'm going to thank you by taking points away from your team. Thank you so much for teaching me the game. Now I'm going to show you what I've learned.
I think Mago's in a really interesting position to kind of be like, you know what, I'll take it as it comes, win or lose. Like, he'll still option select if he wins and be like, you know, I thought I taught you better. And then if he loses, he'd be like, you know, I might have taught you too much, right? He'll still give him, like, some sort of grief.
Oh, man. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. He reminded us. You know, I'm going to let you go ahead. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, so I didn't realize the date today. It is actually September 2nd. Mago had actually made a reference to that. He said, what month is it today? I feel some type of power this time of year. Could it be the activation of September Mago? Oh, yo, and he had a follow-up. He said, I think Yanai said something about me, but I'll tell him what it's like to be a top player. Damn, son. Aggressive.
Mago. I like the energy. We're gonna need that. First spin coming up. Mago scores some points on the board for his team. Gets a shing with the stand fierce to start things off. Ends it with the pinwheel. Drive rush on end. This is the problem with Bison is the defense, but the innate defense is good for me. Yanai knowing be able to backdash there. Gonna punish it again. Another shimmy. Oh, the bomb is all the damage is incoming. Overhead, another helping. He's gonna try to leave.
Couldn't jump out of it.
After the flip out, he's seeing that situation.
Really smart from Yanai also to cover his tracks with the normal straight into the Psycho Crusher, but not going to be enough. Mago with the full conversion regardless. Not too expensive from either end. Yanai really not enforcing his point with the supers, but the mine obviously trying to be the pressure point against Mago. Damn, crouching medium punch snipe out. What a counter hit.
Such a good button. Level 1 also a lot of carry on that. The dash up there right after. Nice and oaky. Doubling down with the throw pressure. Just walk out the overhead, but that's not too bad. Okay, it's looking terrible. Now you're caught up in the corner against Bison. A lot of bar to his name. Staggers and stand medium. Overhead incoming. A pushback, and Mago understands the assignment, sees the pushback happen, gets a stand fierce, links over level 3. The awareness, we talked about it on the side of Yanai. You gotta give credit to Mago right there to know that there was going to be enough pushback after the block to get that stand fierce off, to play a big button for big reward.
Dude, and that was mad optimal. He actually scored that level 3 right around the time he did like the medium kick Fuha right before, and then he had to find the ender, right? Then he did the light kick DP into super. He was extremely optimal, not only with the punish, but also building the meter. Well done.
Respect heavy kick, blocking it out. I'll go up in the corner. He's been using that stand fierce a lot. And I have to figure out a way to battle that button. Yeah, I can't go for the anti, a little bit too slow with that crouch fierce. He's caught up in the corner, eating bows right now. Stocks up the Kuajin, staggers the stand medium. Knock him up again. It's going to allow him to get that quarter pressure off even more. More extensions as well.
Oh. A lot of control coming in from Mago, backing away also. He's a little bit dry on the drive gauge too, so he doesn't want to overextend or also get caught with like a back throw or something, right? Punish counter would have definitely got him pretty damn close to burnout. So I like this decision to kind of back off as Mago.
There's to the fireball, lock him down, space trap with punish as well. Unai searching for that crouch kick to be that anti-shimmy tool, but Mago not in the same area code, able to get that punish off. Game and a round up so far.
Crouching medium punch, big counter hit opener yet again. Level 2 is going to be it. I like this. Immediately going into the level 2 to build up some drive gauge for yourself and also harassment. Already stuffing Yanai in the corner.
Thing is, like, when you see a good jury player, they know how to utilize that for drive gauge, for corner carry, just to keep yourself solid. Crouch me to kick, go forward, works out, the bomb.
Just absorb
the trade.
Does get the hell attack. Drive rush on in there. Target combo. Does get the bomb yet again. Damn, Mago has just been playing around the bomb so well. Counter hit, that's it. Level 2 is also intact. He doesn't need a target combo level 1. Mago 2 games straight. So far, so good. For September's very own.
For the day in, I wonder if that ups his power. The more days go by, the more power he gets. I don't know, but he's looking really powerful right now. The defense in the corner is fantastic. The offense, the level 2 usage as well. We're going to take a timeout, looks like, from Yanai, because he is scratching his head like, bro, what happened? September happened. That's what happened, brother. All right, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Mago, he has all the elements. All right, this guy is on one. And I think what's also really good is, like, being able to use all the parts of Jury. You know, some people, like the Jury down players a little bit, are like, well, she's not stronger than this. She's not stronger than this. As a collective, her toolkit together is so strong. That level 1 for the corner carry, the level 2 to, as you mentioned, get the bar up and also get corner carry if necessary on that. Opening up the character as well if they don't have a reversal. You see the footsies off the stand fears, the Renko kicks, and if you optimize the damage is there, if you have the Guajin socks up and the bar at the bottom to back yourself up. I mean, Mago's always been the complete package when it comes to Jury, and we're seeing it right now. He only needs one more game to his name, and it's over.
If you guys are looking for the bracket or seeing like how the season plays out, I did manage to put the link into the chat, the Liquipedia link for the direct like stuff for the regular season, how many points were scored so far. We already have like Division S's stuff there. Division F also is currently underway. This is day 1, so just in case you guys happen to miss anything, I made sure to put the bracket up just in case for you guys. Or not the bracket, you know what I'm saying, for the scheduling. Not a rebroadcast, this is live. Just make sure you guys are all following along. This is absolutely live. So if you just happen to listen or catch us talking to the chat as well, that's pretty much proof. But damn, a lot of misinfo already. But man, to kind of touch up on what you were saying too, I think there's a lot to be kind of said about Yanai's pressure while the bomb is on. I think Mago has done a great job of kind of dissuading Yanai from putting on pressure correctly. Right, there would be moments where Yanai would apply pressure off of whatever meaty normal, but the thing about Bison is that he doesn't have like a plus normal to enforce frame traps with. If I'm not mistaken, right, let me double check before I put my foot in my mouth. Like standing medium punch is a good tool if you can kind of get it meaty enough, but it could be kind of inconsistent if your timing's off. Crouching medium punch leaves you at -1. So you think about that, right? It's like, even if you go like standing medium punches to crouching medium punch and stuff, but back roundhouse always has to be like the starter for you if you're up close.
Yeah.
Back roundhouse gets you a +1 scenario on block, which allows you to be a lot more scarier to enforce a strike throw mix. We didn't get to see that as much from Yanai, right? Instead, Mago was kind of like waiting it out and seeing what kind of pressure Yanai was going to enforce, and still managed to find counters with crouch jab and also crouching medium punch. Crouching medium punch is a long ass normal, right? In terms of startup, in terms of range, what have you. The fact that he's still able to get that says a lot about his demeanor and his reads against his opponent. Okay, well it's 6 frames crouching medium punch, but still.
Cool, gotta learn how to use it. The jump is there. No answer. He saw the counter. Probably try to go for a crouch fierce. Nice backdash. Once again, reading and understanding what the situation is. Because as you mentioned, the bomb really hasn't been advantageous. We haven't seen like big boy Bison damage that we're used to seeing, the Twitter clips and things like that. He's not getting the hits that he needs to showcase what's happening. He's like landing overheads and small bits here and there. Let's get the back throw. Yanai has him up in the corner. Well spaced. Scissor kick. It's already hard for her to punish that. Oh, that could have been more on the counter combo position. We side switch. You're dead. Mago, set point.
This is looking way too easy right now for Mago. I don't even attest it against Yanai. It's more so the fact that Mago is really a different piece of September, man. Look at that. The bomb not impacting him at all. Mago replaying the role of the little girl in Rush Hour. He said she was the bomb. Or no, Rush Hour 2, sorry. He said she was the bomb. That was Isabella, my bad.
Okay.
Mago still locked all the way in. Low forward, not going to really amount to much. Yanai respecting the boundaries.
Or go forward. She goes to the table. ODDP. Big bust out here for Mago. We get some distance. Versus gonna help out. It's gonna be a driver. No, it's gonna be punish counter, so it's gonna kill. Yanai stable set point. However, once again, the bomb's gotta be a part of the equation, right? He's gotta be able to get that off. Get some damage going and flowing. Pick throw. Driver spec heavy kick. There's the hella plus right there. It's +5 off a drive rush. Go back throw support.
It's kind of wild that Yanai actually got away with the counter hit too. Really well played. Level 3, the first explosive start we get from Yanai. You could actually score yourself possibly a burnout if you apply pressure here. Yanai has a lot of life to work with. He's gonna walk up. Uh-oh, that's 1 hit. That's 2, that's 3. Mago gets a 4th. 1 hit away, actually. Mago could net himself a very big level 3 now.
Resources.
Oh, this is tough.
Out. From the verge, he gets a roll. Mago, Magojo, expelling FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN with the super. The confidence to evade the bomb scenarios, the confidence to play neutral against a character that can explode you. Mago shows what he can do with the jury. And Yanai just absolutely befuddled at what had just occurred. But I'll tell you one thing, the foot speed, the walk speed, the footsies in general, and Mago's just footsie game just in general is insane. He's always been like that, and it works out well with the character and stops Yanai from doing much at all. Mago 3-0 takes it for a team. VARREL walking away as the winners. And a big smile on that face, of course. September showing out.
Damn. Very impressive run from the VARREL camp. TS scoring 2 games straight. Mago scoring 3 for himself as well. Looking like a pretty excellent start. Not something that we're not used to, by the way. VARREL actually scored significantly well in the previous season during the first half. So we really enjoy seeing consistency with this camp. You can see it right here too. The amount of times he's countered Yanai with the bomb on in the corner as well, weaving past some of the offensive sequences that Yanai was presenting. Mago was just on point.
This is Ritsu as well, having the bust outs with ODPs. There's some good ones from Yanai. He did backdash against some of these throws that he knew weren't real. But overall, the DPs were great. Reversal buttons were great. You saw right there. There was a moment where ODDP came out where Yanai went for the drive impact. Like that takes confidence to do that against Bison. When you know you could explode for the wrong decision, he's like, I've been through it enough where I'm numb to it. 30-10, that's his reward. His team taking the lion's share of the points. Shouts out to TS, especially, who looks so much more comfortable than what we saw last season. I think for this team, even though Mago definitely cooked up, I think the real chef for me is TS. I think he had the best dish of the day, considering how different he was than what we saw in the previous season. You know, obviously FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN's got to get things in order a little bit more. I know they're probably not too happy about these results, but it is good to see VARREL out here with a slightly new squad squaring up properly.
We are going to get the winner interview coming in from YHC Mochi first, who was pretty much 4th man out. Luckily enough, didn't have to really play, which is totally fine for him. I'd imagine he's got a lot of faith in his team too. Yeah, Mizuha actually didn't do too poorly for himself either, right? I mean, he scored at least a single game against Torimeshi. A little bit of a mishap towards the end. Could have gone either way. Could have got our very first 40-point ball game, which is kind of wild to say that we haven't had one just yet. You know what I'm saying? So far, a lot of my predictions have been kind of like 50-50. Hiroshima Team Ikuza getting their 30 points to 10 against DetonatioN FocusMe. I did call out the VARREL win today with Mago, TS, and Mizuha. I didn't think Mochi was going to step up to the plate today. But we are going to get the rest of these interviews and also get ready for match number 3, which is going to be ZETA Division versus Reject. But talking about the interviews, YHC Mochi obviously praising the team. He said the team was really strong. Everybody was ready to go. If Johnny was going for the normal games, I would have been the one to counter. I would have been the one to go.
They're already ready to have a switch up just in case. I like that. I guess if I was strong enough to not let it, I guess I was strong enough to not let Johnny go out. He was like, listen, I was enough. Even in a bad matchup against Cammy, I was enough. That's a good sign. He was like, hey man, I got you. Don't worry about it. Today I can cook. So that's pretty cool that White Shimochi willing to go up against a Cammy and prepare for a difficult matchup and win. You know, even though it could have been anybody's game there, is a really good sign for the team. Like you can't just like, oh, okay, I counterpick, I'm gonna win automatically. It's never been about that in fighting games or even Street Fighter. But it's good to see that it doesn't hold true out here as well. Mizuwa says, unfortunately, I lost, but I'll do better next time.
He wanted to fight off against Johnny, right? Johnny's been playing a lot of Manon lately. So that's a matchup I feel like he can control the space a lot better and also get away with a lot of the shenanigans that Manon kind of put out there, right? I don't know about like all the other matchups they specifically are holding Shimochi for. Did you mix him up with Torimeshi too? You definitely did. You hella did.
Oh my God,
you just seen Dawson players and you're just gonna call them out. Come on, man. That's crazy. He did it again, Shaq. Come on, man.
Did it again.
That's wild. Oh, I'll let you get the rest of the interviews, bro. You got it. You got it.
All right. Let me make it up with the interview from Mizo. Unfortunately, I lost, but I'll do it next time. TS says, this is my first time getting interviewed, and I'm really happy. I was able to show everything I practiced, and I'll try to do better next time as well. Is that really the first time he's ever been interviewed? I feel like I remember him getting interviewed last season, but maybe interviewed for a win. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what he's trying to talk about. But either way, you know, it's good to see him in full force on the Akuma. The way that you want to see him, you know, in terms of, you know, feeling comfortable. When he's in his bag, you see the technicality of the character come out. He, as you mentioned, will call out certain things with the character. I mean, Akuma's a toolkit character, so understanding what tools you can use against certain characters is really get the benefit of Akuma. Mago says, I guess I'm a bit too strong, huh? But the team is so strong this season, looking at the practice. That's crazy that he said that. Let me just go back to that. Hold on now. I guess I'm a bit too strong. You literally sound like Gojo, bro. You literally sound like protagonist. Okay, that is insane work. Hope we keep that energy throughout the league because you're going to need it. But he knows it too. He knows that he's got a strong team.
I hope he keeps
strong as well.
I hope he keeps up that energy for season 3. No spoiler. Whoops. Anyways, Mago clutching it out as the anchor. 3 games straight. Pretty significant. Obviously, he's going to get a couple of extra words in towards the finale of the winner's interview, but a very, very strong team. I think I really enjoy this composition a lot more this season. In terms of the character selection, also the player diversity, in terms of the skill levels too. He did mention him kind of like performing in previous seasons. It's the first time we won the first episode. Looking back, I wasn't able to win the first episode during the Gyogun era either. Damn, that is quite a throwback. So it's cool to see the evolution of the players. What is he doing? The evolution of Mago and the team VARREL has been quite entertaining. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. VARREL taking it 30 points to FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. Not bad, not bad. But it sets us up nicely for our final match of the day. Damn, son. ZETA versus Reject? Hot damn.
Like last episode, this one's going to be a banger too as well. I mean, like, some people are like, they're already fighting it out, like, first episode for Division F. Of course, Street Fighter League doesn't pull no punches. You have to fight them eventually. It's going to have to happen. It's a round robin. You have to fight it twice, actually. And this time, it's going to be, in terms of, like, the quality. If y'all don't know, let me run down the list real quick of these players. Their division has got Hikaru, Kakeru, Higuchi, and Momochi. That's AJP, Guile, and Aki. The Reject, of course, Tokido, Lashar, Fudo, and Daigo. These are 2 of the most stacked teams you could ever ask for in any team based anywhere, any league at all for Street Fighter, be it Japan, US, doesn't matter what it is. Legends upon legends. People have been doing that big work out here in the league, and they're going toe-to-toe, blow-to-blow out here to end things off for Division F. Man, I cannot wait to see this one. I have no predictions for this. You know, production asked me, I was like, I'm flipping a coin, bro. I have no idea. Because even last week, I thought Good 8 Squad was going to win. Crazy Raccoon took it. Who could have known?
Right. Yeah.
Not me.
I definitely thought the exact same thing, and my prediction got smoked. I got 2 out of 3, and right now I'm 1 for 2. But if I were to actually think about it, I overall like the composition of Reject a little bit more, just based off of the hot streak that Lashar and Fudo have. Tokido has actually been on a really interesting kind of tear of hitting certain high-end specialists, certain high-end players where it counts the most when you saw it at EWC, with the exception of his last performance where he got eliminated because his peripheral wasn't working and we had to take a little bit of like a technical pause. But I like Lashar and Fudo a lot right now. I think they're going to be the breadwinners of Reject. Daigo's been quite the anomaly for me, right? Like, it's weird to say it, but I don't know where to put Daigo for like the away position. So thankfully enough, they're going to be in the home side instead. Looking at ZETA division, obviously the elephant in the room, Kakeru is always going to be the #1 prospect no matter what. It's just a matter of whether or not Momochi, Higuchi, and Yukaru are able to keep up with the pace that's going to be set potentially by our Capcom Cup champion, right? So with that in mind, we'll see how this plays out. In the meantime, you guys have been enjoying yourselves. A lot of these matches for Street Fighter League Pro Japan. We also have to give big shout outs to our sponsors and people involved in this season of Street Fighter League. Vermilo has been putting out a lot of products and peripherals lately, and they were actually widely available over at EVO Las Vegas. I know a lot of players that have actually picked up this specific machine and have had a really good time with it. I know Justin Wong has one. He's talked to me about it a bunch. He loves it for travel because of the way you can obviously handle it. You also have a retractable cable. As soon as I said it, Hamiko pulled it out. You have a detachable joystick also with a compartment in the back to hide it so that it doesn't get damaged in transit, and also makes that sleek design even more convenient to carry. So a lot of conscious effort designing this peripheral with travel in mind, right? Not only that, but you also have extra face buttons to make sure that whatever game you're playing, you have like easy access to multiple functioning buttons, or at least positioning of buttons. So really cool to see that. I think they're doing a phenomenal job. They've really evolved from the way they designed their peripherals from the very beginning in the previous season. From what we saw, they had like the full leverless design a lot of the times. Now they're going back to their roots with fight stick. So a lot of different layouts for a lot of different play styles. I'm really enjoying what they're doing with the peripheral game thus far.
It was like a magic show. That thing was never ending in terms of the court link. That is so sick. And again, like as you mentioned, like they're really understanding like the troubles of people that have to carry their sticks around like the airports and stuff like that, or at events. They have a handle right there. You can take off the stick and put it in the back pocket. It's perfect. Also, shouts out to Red Bull for doing these like collegiate things. We talked about the school tournaments and stuff like that, the academy they're gonna have over there in Japan. I'm a big proponent of like someone that likes to see new players come through the scene, whether it be scholastic or collegiate, and they're doing big things over there in Japan. It's cool to see that around the world, because there could be another Blaz out there, Crime, whatever it may be, just needs to be given a chance in a big stage in a proper place to play. So the more that we have this stuff, the better. Again, shouts out to Red Bull and Japan just in general to also head that kind of stuff over there in the museum. That, you know what, I gotta make some point in my life, because this, you had been to one of these, right? Like, because this looks sick.
Yeah, I did have the luxury of being able to visit like the Capcom Museum. It's not the currently updated one. I went last year where they had all of the concept art for the Street Fighter 6 characters. They also paid homage to a lot of the Street Fighter, like the previous Street Fighter iterations, and also different collaborations that Capcom has done with other mangaka and developers. But yeah, those are the dates. We'll talk about it a little bit more. If you have that luxury, be sure to check it out in Japan. But we are going to take a little bit of a break. We have our marquee match coming up next, ZETA versus Reject. You don't want to miss it here on Street Fighter League Pro Japan. Stay tuned.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
I'm a legend in the making, and this is mine for the taking. Cause I got what it takes to be a no bricks, no stairs,
Here comes a new challenger. World Tour. Fighting breath. Battle hub. Local violence match. Fighter 6.
サロンの方が有意義かしら。覚悟はいいか。
ジョークに付き合う気分じゃない。
さあここからはディビジョン F の第1節チームマッチ3ゼータディビジョンギークリー対リジェクト、こちらの模様をお届けしていきます。はい、準備が整ったようなので早速戦う両チームをご紹介いたします。まずはアウェイ側選手入場です。
We're back. All right, people. This is the matchup many of you have been waiting for. Is ZETA Division Geekly, the chosen one, Hikaru, coming through. This cat has been sick on the Aki and has been doing a lot of work in the offline and online scene, especially in Street Fighter League. But we cannot forget about the prodigy himself, Higuchi, always staying golden with the guile. And if you think about Street Fighter League champions, he is definitely one of them, pushing out for whatever team he is on. The perfect parry Prince. You hear the snap. It's Kakadu coming through on the JP. And lastly, definitely not least, is the Silent Ninja Blade himself leading the charge. Momochi, Evo champion, and kicking it with the end, showcasing the character is still very strong. So, this team is ridiculous, heavily stacked in terms of talent, variation, and player accomplishments. Let's see what they do out here at Street Fighter League. I think, okay, Vicious is back with us. How you doing, brother?
You know, I'm chilling. I definitely saw the countdown freeze at 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, damn, I might get smoked. But thankfully, I made it just in time for our marquee matchup of the evening. We talked about ZETA Division. Now, let's talk about those coming in from the home position. We got Team Reject stepping up to the plate, and man, is it a stacked team. This is looking actually godlike this season, and I'll tell you exactly why. Kicking things off, the first member of Team Reject, it's the Beast, Daigo Umehara. Fresh out of doing his time, back out in the streets to do the crime with Akuma. The attack on heavy tank, Fudo. Fresh off the heels of a very impressive run in the States and also in EWC. Speaking of which, Lashar also following suit. This man is a multi-CPT champion with Combo Breaker and CEO under his belt. Last but not least, the one to reject the limit, it is Tokido. Setting the pack, setting the pace here with Reject as their captain. This is probably the most stacked team to date at Street Fighter League in regards to the current accolades of the CPT.
Even inside Street Fighter League, all these cats have been doing work. Daigo, at minimum, has clutched on the first team last season. Maybe wasn't playing the Kuma the way he wanted him to play the character, but you know what? Still got points for the team. Still squatted up. Now Reject, front runners out here, they're in the home position. ZETA pulling up with Momochi, Higuchi, and Hikaru to start things off. Unfortunately, it looks like Kakadu is disqualified because he's not able to play today. Hopefully he feels better. But that's what we're going to have, is these three players. If you're on the side of Reject, you have a lot of choices, but you better place them correctly. I think we're talking about where Daigo could fit. He could fight Momochi. I think he might not be that bad in terms of what's on paper. Having Akuma against Ed's pretty good. The thing is this Akuma ready for the prime time? Is he ready to play a more active, more aggressive game that he's trying to develop? We've seen on his YouTube, his content, what he said himself. He needs to be more active. He needs to be a more aggressive Akuma player. I feel like if he can access that, he might be able to go toe-to-toe with the current Momochi, who has been absolutely on fire lately.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Oh, instead.
Oh, it's the Char coming up first instead. He's going to be the one up front instead of Tokido setting the pace. Very interesting. Is it going to be the Ed pick? Because he's been playing a lot of different characters, right? He's been playing Mai more often than not. He's been playing Terry, but Ed, okay, it has to be the Ed. Against Momochi, it has to be the mirror match. I think there's a lot of comfort in knowing the mirror match and also knowing the way that Momochi wants to play. Granted, it's not the first time we've seen the mirror match, specifically Lashar versus Momochi. I actually want to see the head-to-head history between the two, because I swear there was a time very recently this year where they fought against each other. Let me double check. So, All right, well, I guess Wikipedia is not showing up the right information today. That's kind of messed up. It is what it is. Momochi. Let me try one more time on this search query to get the right information. No, all right, cool. Sounds about good. Anyways, it's not the first time for sure that they've fought up against each other. I'm specifically talking about like within the CPT. We've definitely seen it on stream before as well. So I am kind of curious to see like if the playstyle is going to be changed up. If Momochi's going to be the one on the back end to force himself to play rather aggressively against Lashar, because we know we've seen him play kind of reactionary a good amount of the times. Okay, so yeah, Combo Breaker 2025. Lashar beat Momochi 2-1. Prior to that, Momochi faced him off in Evo Japan, took it down 3-2.
Yeah.
The funny thing is though, at Combo Breaker, Lashar had to face off against Momochi with different characters. He didn't fight him in the mirror match. He fought him with both Terry and Mai.
Also switched off both characters because in Evo Japan, it looks like it was with the Mai. So him having the variants of characters, they put Momochi off guard. And he has some really weird ideas. Like Lashar has some the end matchup. He'll do like Drive Rush Fireball to kind of switch things up if he's playing Terry. But in the mirror match, if I remember correctly, they all go back and forth in terms of who takes the victory. If you add Fudo in the equation, it's like Fudo beats Momochi, but Momochi beats Lashar, Lashar beats Fudo. It goes in this weird rotation back and forth, and obviously that shifts depending on the tournament. It's kind of crazy to see him go for the Ed pick, though. You know, I feel like there's comfortability for Lashar's side of things versus the Ed, but same with Momochi. We've seen him play the mirror match against Fudo continuously out here in League. So I want to see what Lashar's ideas are, and if things do get dicey, what he switches to. Now, Momochi says, I've been playing a ZETA division. It's the first game of the team. I'll play for Kakadu and get the win for the team. Lashar says, I lost the first game last season, and I regretted it. So maybe that's part of the reason why he is coming up to bat first off. He's been thinking about that loss of the first game of the first season this entire time, and it's like, listen, I need my look back. I need my run back right now. If it has to be the mirror match against Momochi, I don't care if it's an Evo champion. I don't care who it is. He says, I'll get the win today, get to the championships with this team, with this season.
That's the kind of attitude I've been kind of expecting from Lashar these last couple of months, right? He already had a very explosive end of the year from his performance over at Capcom Cup. He's had a really different demeanor going into 2025 in the CPT. Obviously, we've seen him play his mind out, play out of his mind, excuse me, over at Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo Japan, right? He's already taken down 2 of the biggest US majors thus far. Him transferring over all of that energy into the league where he has to consistently face off killer after killer after killer is going to be a very, very interesting one. Like, will he ever run out of steam is the biggest question. Will he ever get downloaded is the second follow-up. We'll find out. Game 1, Momochi versus Lashar, the Ed Mirror.
He's going to attack with the stand medium kick against that crouching medium punch. Momochi getting caught trying to walk back a little bit. Lashar harassed with the flicker, but what happens if you whip a button? Well, she's there with the drive rush jab as the punish tool. Oh, reverse throw.
We took the forward throw. Momochi now trying to convince Lashar to sit still for a little bit. Punish counter all the way through. Damn, that was a far flicker. Are you kidding me?
Tip. Trying to find an opening right there. As he blocks it out, Lashar losing a lot of bar. Driver's throw. He's going to hold this. Can he find an opening with level 1 to bust out or level 2? I don't even know if he can get the chance to get the conversion because the flicker will keep on blocked up in the corner. And yeah, this character doesn't have the throw loop pressure that he used to, but he still has these long-range normals and specials to keep you out and lock you out.
Yeah, he's one of the characters that doesn't really need it, right? Like, he could drive rush forward and spend that cash to do so, but I more so like him in a controlled style with both flicker and also his long-range normals too. So, dang, level 3 right out the gate. Momochi, the damage is going to be so significant now that Lashar's past the 50% mark. Momochi, how do you enforce your will closer to the corner? Drive rush forward, flicker followed suit. Punish counter against his own flickers. Lashar coming out the gate.
Skillson, careful now. Real strike though. He backed up looking for a possible ODDP. Momochi had the bar to do so and help survive. Nothing doing. Momochi playing this nice and safe, very comfortable right now. As I say this, he gets tagged. What are we going for right here? No level 3 just yet, just a knockdown. Level 3 with the kill. We would have got the bar back in time. Full jump, stand fierce. Waiting for a throw on both sides. Perfect parry and the punish right after. Who else would be ready for a punish but an Ed player against the Flicker and find success? That new nerf working against the own Ed. Momochi, first game, already headset off, talking to his team, Lashar. Are we switching up the character or the game plan?
And that's so wild, right? Just like trying to process that thought. Perfect parrying a special that can be released at the owner's own volition. That's hard, man. That is hard to call out.
Blitz, Isamidi, she's trying to work himself outside the corner. Held Flicker, pull him close, but that's not real throw hours, that's only strike. Oh, nice interruption. He saw the hands were down. Come where the button can come out. They just set up a perfect parry. The turn back with the jabs.
Lashar's been chilling though. Following suit after the slow fireball. A couple of hits, exposing down below. Nothing big out of that for the side of Momochi though. Lashar pretty dry on the drive gauge. Momochi has been kind of antsy about it, right? He threw out that forward heavy punch just in case. And this is the kind of space that Momochi wouldn't mind playing at against Lashar, keeping it kind of tight.
But keeps trying to drive. Jab and dash up his technical challenge. And Lashar,
yeah,
ready with it.
Excellent challenge from Lashar. There was going to be a moment where Momochi was going to try to sneak in, right? That was actually an excellent call from both ends.
Flicker now the fireball. Fireballs are a big proponent of this matchup. Like, I know it's a mirror match, but there is a little bit of tech. Oh, hold on now. Let me stop myself. What a pickup right there off the fireball. The trade. Sharing and Ed brain.
Damn!
Level 2 though, popping off.
Single bounce! The Shin Dream is activated. Damn, look at the damage to the drive gauge, look at the damage to the health bar, and look at the control that Momochi gets afterwards in the corner. No, he just lets go of it. He absolutely lets go of it.
Really? Maybe not trying to overextend too much too often. Lashar is the one trying to overextend, trying to get some of these buttons off. He is able to get the drive gauge back up here. We'll see the fireball play. Perfect parry on the stand fierce. Punish incoming. Another level 2. Another serving of NyQuil. Not gonna kill just yet though. Just set up. OD fireball, chip him out. The ODDP does exactly that. Set point for Momochi.
This guy Momochi's so calculated, man. What a sequence to keep the block string true and also the chip damage. Insane. And he got a 2-time level 2 execution in that single round. It's pretty damn good.
Meter build. Nice interruption against the 4 Pierce. Cobra Strike just a little bit too slow on the draw right there. Just set up for the jump Pierce. He's going for these heavier buttons to kill the drive gauge, to build some of his own back up. He's got another super to seal the deal. Text a throw. Lashar. How can you make this back? No back throw. Mochi not trying to go to the corner, but he's trying to go for the walk-up throw. We're too confident.
Not gonna move, sitting still. Lashar recognized that. Level 2. Gonna be the light version. Following suit behind it, Lashar. His drive gauge is in trouble. That's a punish counter. That's death. Lashar thought he was gonna have enough time to parry the super. Momochi peeked out in front of it first and caught the parry. 2 games for Momochi. Taking down Lashar right out the gate. Chat, eat your heart out. Honestly, I'm right there with you. I thought Lashar was going to come out swinging and smoking.
Momochi. This dude, the fact that he got 2 level 2s, optimizing the bar build up, the corner carry, and the damage, the 3-in-1 right there, getting another level 2 right after that, being able to control the likes of Lashar, not letting him drive rush up, knowing the optimal ranges to play certain buttons. Obviously, you play Ed, so you know you're gonna understand that more often than not. So that's why things like this happen. The perfect parry against the Flicker, which is probably a rarity even against people that are well practiced against the character. However, Momochi's control on Lashar in the corner continuously has been next level. Whether it be perfect parry, keeping out certain ranges where Lashar can only play certain buttons, or something too obvious, and keeping up the bar too as well. There's a moment where he backed off and we're like, wait, why. But it seemed like he wanted to keep the bar up in the green as much as possible, and that was kind of the objective. There were some clutch moments where he was able to attack and not get tossed up in the corner, understood, and the level 2, as you mentioned, the hit the peekaboo right to the level 2 right here, the drive rush throw. Lashar just couldn't get the time in the perfect pair or do much at all. I have not seen Lashar look that lost, mirror match or not, in a long time. Momochi came ready.
It's cool to see the back and forth between the two, right? The pendulum now has swung in favor of Momochi 2 games straight. I would not have expected it. Lashar, he's been so reluctant to fight Momochi in the mirror match now that I think about it. So I really wonder if he's gonna pull out my Terry if he has to face off against another Ed player. But realistically, you're looking at the current spread. I don't see any other Ed players stepping up to the plate outside of ZETA division, right?
Yeah, I mean, besides Fudo himself, it's rare to find someone of that caliber and that quality, so we'll see what Lashar does in the future. I'll message him later and ask. But right now, it's going to be Fudo on the Ed going up against Higuchi and the Guile. Watching this matchup over at EWC, you can definitely tell that the Ed players are getting better about disallowing the fireballs from happening. They're in the right space before a fireball can come out and tag him. You know, with the stand medium kick, crouching medium kick, buttons like that, and then disallow like back fist from happening. They're preemptive with their options. But Higuchi, man, he has been so strong over at Street Fighter League. We've seen him be the golden son for Saishun Komoto when he was over there a couple of times. We've seen him be a standout player, honestly, a MVP so many times in my eyes. But Fudo, bro, he is on something different. Getting back the sauce and spice with DJ, now also showcasing what Ed can do out in this season, proving the character can cook. He has been emboldened by these character choices in his offline performance, winning over at Blink Respawn. This guy he's just on a hot streak as well. So it's gonna be cool to see this this play out. I thought it was gonna be Lashar actually going up against Higuchi, but it's going to be Fudo stepping up to the plate. So if things do go bad, he might have the DJ, but I think the Ed will be just fine in this. We're gonna get the interview here real soon. But I do like this as a side note, seeing these players continue their journey through Street Fighter League, where they used to be and where they're at right now. Higuchi looking way more confident in his play, where before he'd have off days where everything would miss. He with all of his flash kicks and things like that. Now he just looks like a dominant player, a pro player as he is.
I think he's always had really strong, like, educated guesses when it comes to like big reversal burst moments from Guile. And obviously, you talked about his accolades of being a Guile player from 5 for so long. I think he's been one of the more prolific ones because of his decision making to scrap it out, right? He has had such significant growth in understanding the situation. I think his overall game sense, for 1, a brand new engine, 2, playing a character like Guile, and 3, understanding what needs to be done in certain matchups has been, I want to say, in a very interesting spot, right? He's adapted pretty well in Season 1, but Seasons 2 and 3, he has not really found his big breakout performance, right? Like, we talked about him being one of the big prodigies in Japan, held from previous seasons and like CPT performances. But he hasn't necessarily found his footing. It's not to say, like, it doesn't like take away the way he plays the character, but I also think there's a lot to talk about with the character itself, right? In the current placement of the meta. There's only a handful of players that are able to excel with this character, and even when they do excel, it's not necessarily in a first place placement, right? So a lot can be talked about in that conversation. It could either be a meta thing, it could be something with Guile, or it could be the players themselves, right? There's a whole matrix of things to consider.
There's not that many Guile players out there in general that are high level besides like Knuckle Duke Kaba, I would say Gucci, Suiji, we see over from Japan as well. But there's only a handful. It's a difficult character to play. I know people just see the flash kicks and the booms, but you have to have the proper timing for zoning. You have to have the proper anti-airs. He's got a litany of anti-airs, but to do the right ones to get the job done, that's going to be really imperative. And sometimes it switches per matchup.
Yeah.
In terms of the interview, though, Higuchi said that, I knew Fudo was practice with Momochi for it. First match for the team, I'm a little nervous, but it's a good pressure for me. But Fudo, though, said Lashar lost, but I'll show that this team is not a one-man team. I'll show that others can definitely win. He already starts off strong right there, spinning up quite a bit of bar. We've known Fudo to be a very active person once he gets like that domain. He gets that drive rush pressure. But now Higuchi taking the advantage. Jumps back. It's an OS. Get that flash kick right after. All charged up.
Oh. Damn, that dude was mad far. Fudo actually getting caught by it randomly, by the way. Yeah, this is the position that Higuchi wants to play at, right? Just about the 2 and 3 range, being able to throw some of those fireballs, also switching it up within the 2. What the hell was that? What was that interaction?
Round 2. Fight. I couldn't tell you.
Did you see that?
Taking advantage of it. That is.
Was that OD uppercut from Fudo?
It looked like it was OD uppercut. Am I bugging?
It has to be, right? Like, there's no way those 2 highly invulnerable moves were not going to be the choice, right? So that was kind of sick.
Yeah. Man attack. All right, Higuchi. Go for the driver stand line kick. ODDP, the bust out. Fudo having to spend quite a bit of bar right now. Drive rush initiating now for the jabs. Get the most off a drive rush stand line kick for Guile, but whatever it takes to get in. Fudo not letting that happen. Kill rush in for the throw right after. Now spins the drive rush with the jab. Again, trying to get in.
Oh, what was that? That was a raw flash kick. Higuchi. I can't even imagine why he decided to try to do a raw flash kick against Fudo. Did you see that? There was a start of a flash kick. It got counter hit. So Fudo was actually mad close to getting burnt out. If in a world where Higuchi actually got a punish counter, he would have been able to burn out Fudo. He would have been able to initiate solid puncher and get chip damage. Damn, that was a delay on the overhead. Or sorry, the upside down kick.
Bar. The bar. At least he's level 2 action here on either side. Right now, Fudo's still for the knockdown. Actually, Fudo's the type to spin level 3 more often. He feels like if it's gonna kill, he'll go for that. And the air to air, never mind, level 2 coming through. Gets the pickup and more than enough damage. Had more behind it if need be for the victory. Damn. You know, sometimes you can hit that level 3 for the victory, but Fudo caught him with the air to air, got the level 2 pickup. Damn, Fudo. Ready for any sort of jump on his side.
Amazing conversions all the way around. Higuchi striking first with the anti-air, baiting Fudo into the OD uppercut. Massive damage to the drive gauge. Higuchi starting things off pretty well. Back-to-back punish counters, close to drive. Fudo not going to be able to get out of this alive. Yeah, back-to-back counter hits. So you could see, as long as Higuchi doesn't drop this combo, Fudo was so adamant about not getting burnt out, hence why he woke up with the button the second to last interaction and then got hit with the punish counter right after.
Trying to go for the back though to switch things up, probably. Unfortunately, it's Higuchi rounding it back to the perfect. Back to full skill to harass with the flickers to end some of these conversions off to try to kill some of that drive gauge or get a punish counter if an air button is pressed. Dash stand fears. Oh, he catches him on the way down. I like that decision. Go for the jab. The DP probably wouldn't have worked out right there. He knows better. OD gonna have the ODDP to finish things off. The cycle upper after downer for Higuchi. It's set point. Fudo with full control right now. Hands on the wheel.
This guy is sick. Like, all of his conversions lead to so much damage and also control into the corner. Up until this point, though, Higuchi trying to claw his way back. Right into the face of Fudo, though. These roundhouses aren't going to amount to much just yet. It's hard for Higuchi to find a spot to play, right? That's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm. He's using a lot of drive gauge for like drive rush button. That's not really finding an opening against Fudo. He can't really use much for OD Sonic Boom, it feels like, because he wants to use it for that previous sort of game plan. And level 3s and level 2s haven't really landed him anything. I mean, he's seen activation. Finally, we see something from the baby booms. Will help to harass the drive gauge it does, and the pushback towards the corner is also the objective as well. But Fudo holding tight, goes back to the green. He's back there, yes.
Damn! I love seeing that drive rush low medium kick hit. Linking it into the flash kick. Here we go. Fudo now in control yet again. One more hit! Technically for Fudo, that's gonna be it. Yeah, conversion level 3. There's something about the way Fudo gets these big confirms that lead into big damage, and it's so intimidating. Higuchi has not found the... Whoa, he's not dead yet!
Alive.
Hold up.
Now he is. Listen, he was in hospice. It was only a matter of time, brother. Only a matter of time. You fighting a man like Fudo, it's only a matter of time. With that control he had, I want to go back to what you were saying. There's something about that, the way he is spacing himself out, interrupting the Sonic Boom play. Yeah, and honestly, I would like to see more OD Sonic Booms from Higuchi, but like, let's say you get the knockdown, right? Let's say you get the knockdown. Fudo's just gonna maybe back rise or whatever and be back to full screen. So like, the advantage of a knockdown there is like whatever. Like, okay, cool, I got hit with OD Sonic Boom. Cool, I'm so far away from you. You still got to get to me. Maybe you can dash up a little bit more, depending on the distance. Maybe there is a little bit more Oki off of that, but where he was being played, for the most part, Fudo was playing buttons, and if he was full screen, oh, okay, so it was ODDP. Okay, sick. That was super sick.
Yeah.
But either way,
yeah, I
my
saw,
point
like,
is that it felt like you couldn't spin that bar. Bro, the damage, the conversions off of everything. He makes everything count. And I feel like at high level, you should be doing that. But the way that he does it with Ed, a character that needs certain points of access for damage, obviously the flicker cancels and things like that, the level 2s, everything feels like it hurts when he plays Ed. And it's not something you typically see from other Ed players. The space trap with a crouch light kick, this guy's godlike. This guy's godlike. So we don't get the tiebreaker. We will just get the final match with Hikaru coming up. And now, who do you play? I feel like you can set up Tokido. Ken Aki not that bad, but same with Daigo. I'd hedge my bets more on Tokido though, personally. What do you think?
I think, yeah, Hikaru is locked in for Aki, but depending on which character, right? If it's Daigo with the Akuma, now normally I think Daigo is fine fighting this matchup as Akuma. I also don't mind seeing Tokido, and he's been a lot more active in tournaments. So that is tough. It might be a coin flip. I think Tokido might step up. Yeah, so Taisho match is going to be Tokido, the captain, taking advantage of that. It's going to be Ken, right? He'd announced it. Yeah, so funny enough, somebody had slightly mentioned Tokido possibly going to Akuma, but I don't know, man. I think Tokido's still trying to make it work with Ken, and obviously we see it today. But man, what a different realm it would be if Tokido actually converted to Akuma. Now, with that said, I still think Tokido gives Aki a big run for her money, right? There's so much that he can do to get the corner carry mad early against Aki. We all talk about Aki having some of the well, not the best defense, right? She does have OD command dash to get out of harm's way. It is throwable, however. The only other option she has is spending bar as a reversal, an invincible reversal, super, right? But one of the biggest highlights that we see Aki players kind of take advantage of is how well they get to utilize Fireball into Drive Rush in a matchup. How well they can utilize their spacing with lashes against other characters. Right? Ken can dissuade Aki players from doing both of those options pretty well. Right? OD Fireball is a pretty big problem. Being able to convert off of that also leads to fat damage. Being able to hover around certain ranges and whiff punish is also something Ken can do pretty well with his roundhouse, getting full conversions off of that. So it's very tough, I feel like, for a lot of the Aki players to still contest against Ken.
Agree. And also on top of all that, if you go for the snake step, where she kind of goes down to the ground, you can immediately run DP that on reaction. I've seen Ryukichi do that quite a bit. That does an Oki right after, and that means you don't have to spend drive gauge. You can spend it elsewhere. So like the matchup, maybe got a little bit easier in some aspects where the drive gauge damage isn't as insane off the Genrai, but the aspect of getting towards the corner and having to play that defensive game like you don't want to is always going to be there with Ken, and that's why Ken is still going to be a strong Shoto. He can still put you in the corner off of any interaction. Is the corner pressure as strong as it used to be? Not as much, but it's still really good. It's still really strong. That's where he's going to access the most amount of his damage. Kara says, at EWC, I lost against Tokido, but I'll take my revenge and get the season to start off well. So he did lose over at EWC. Wow. We've been thinking about that one for a while. All right. We'll get Tokido's words here in a second as well. But real quick to your point about him going to Akuma, how many times have we seen Tokido be like, hey man, when are you going to select that character? Maybe it's too much work. We saw him kind of test it on CFN a little bit. I saw Javits put that out. Shouts out to him. And maybe just him kind of testing the waters and seeing and pulling him out a little later on. But the cadence is fine, I think. And Tokido says, I will come back with 20 points and go home with 30 as a team now that I was given the chance to go on Anchor.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine he'd want to take up the Taisho matchup, right? I think there's plenty of good evidence that Tokido would want to fight off against Aki, character to character. So I'm not thoroughly that surprised, but I do want to take a look at what's been going on at EWC again. I want to see what transpired in the first phase. Tokido, let me see. When did he get to fight off against Hikaru? Yeah, so they were in the same pool, right? They were both in Group G. Tokido managed to take it against Hikaru. Funny enough, Hikaru beat him in the first 2 games, right? It was 2-0 Hikaru's lead, and then Tokido brought it back 3 straight games.
It's kind of the Tokido way. I feel like he starts to get the download, using certain things to get the download, get a little bit more of that data on you. Driver's Chat, for example, we saw against Momochi and won the tournament. The Jinrai, of course, is a good tool to gather that data as well. We'll see if that happens here if he even needs it. He's starting off really strong right now. Driver's stand light kick, but that does put out Hikaru. He's gonna go for the optimal conversion here. Side switch level 1. Yes, sir. Get the job done. Enhanced Dragon Lash to get that level 1 follow-up.
Pretty active is Tokido already, right? We do get the counter hit now. Hikaru, what's going to be the offensive pressure like? Going to be letting go rather early. Tokido trying to maintain his defense. We do get the forward throw after the drive rush forward roundhouse. Back-to-back throws. Trying to fake out, trying to force any sort of movement from Tokido, but we do get the standing medium kick punish counter into the target combo. Back throw is everything now. So much space and also the corner control.
Gets the push right after.
Again, stopping the drive
only
rush.
2 speeds for the fireball. Man, there's only 2 speeds. There's a normal one in the OD. Perfectly prepared. Gets the knockdown, that new quote-unquote buff to nerf. We're out of there. Hold on now. The lash, it doesn't work. It's not close enough. Bit of a mistake. Blocked out and punished. Tokido hits him with the level 1. No cutscene of level 3 necessary. That was so unfortunate. The super just a little bit closer off that conversion. Would have been seeing something different.
Wild. Very unlucky, by the way. I think there was a lot more control from the side of Hikaru that led to, I want to say, like, potential, round-changing potential, I should say, for Hikaru. But Tokido definitely going to take advantage of that. First game to him. A lot more active in checking the approach from Hikaru. Damn, look at the carry.
Got it. It's a little bit of bar. She's got it. And the pressure up in the corner. Tokido threatens him with the stand medium kick. That's been a big prominent tool in this matchup to whip punish and to catch butts before they even come out again. He gets a counter at this time. Stand like a DP. Drive rushing up. And that heavy kick finisher off the Jinrai. Lane crouching medium punch. The throw. One hit's going to seal it. It's going to be another jab. So again, we talk about it. Unless you're busting out with level 1, there's not much anybody else has to worry about.
Damn, run DP past the fireball. Another factor into the meta of the matchup, right? Very good snipe out from Tokido. But the poison is adding up. That back throw was everything for Hikaru for control. Does manage to get Tokido. He's probably trying to jump out of the corner. Right now he has to pay in full. Venomous Fang, you do get the drop. Put him in the pool.
Kiddie pool. No fear at all. Drive reversal to back it up. Drive burst stand fierce, but perfect parry. He was going to play a button right after. Turn blue. Get the conversion here. The knockdown. Dang! The drive impact, the impact, the fall right after that. Yeah, you better win. You can't impact somebody and not kill him.
He dropped it again, by the way, Senkola. I don't know what's going on from the side of Hikaru. Perfect parry against Cool Fate. And then the proper punish counter with the drive impact into, look at the corner carry, dear God. This is sick.
East or west. This dude Tokido will take you there. One way ticket passing his way.
I'll take you there.
Has spent a lot of bar. That's early. Oh,
brother. This is huge. Hey, actually Hikaru is gonna get the first big momentum shift of the match. While in burnout, fireball, gets a follow suit afterwards. Oh, Tokido tried to run up in his face just in case. He wanted to be disrespectful and catch another fireball. Still managing to get a crouch jab, and you know he's ecstatic and elated about that. The drive gauge slowly coming back to him. The damage exchange just about even. Hikaru still has a lot of drive gauge to work with. The force and error against Tokido. He got it.
Finally. How many tournaments? How many times? Impact not land. Doesn't land it this time. Had it been just seconds away, the bar would have been back and we could have seen a possible drive impact. Hikaru finally able to clutch it out with a DI. But man, oh man, the matchup knowledge from Tokido though is next level. As we saw the run DP against the fireballs, the statement kick spacing has been fantastic as well. Hikaru not too far off though. Reset with a command grab, I like that, sticking the damage. Statement kick was too shallow, fortunately.
Oh, no conversions off of Tokido. Also ended up getting a trade. ODDP, yeah, that's so smart too, to check the drive rush afterwards, canceling your parry. Did you get the punish counter? Hikaru in hot pursuit. Buttons on wake up from Tokido while you're in a poison state. You're deader than dead. Level 1, make it hurt. Hikaru with a full conversion. Tokido, I think he was a little bit too concerned forcing himself into a burnout. I couldn't tell, but him waking up with buttons while he was poisoned, not the best look.
I know wild. You know what's coming through. That's like 40% off your health. Didn't commit to the bid. Tried to go for the throw, got back to it, said perfect parry. Should be a side switch incoming, yes. Enhancement. Come up in the corner, drive rush jab. Delays it just a little bit to try to find the opening. I like these little delays that Tokido does. The cross cut DP knows it might whip. Against that cross up, hard knockdown, jump line kick. Back throw, the OD fireball becomes a fireball. Drive rush forward, heavy kick for the plus frames. Tokido backing off, he's got all the room and the buttons to work with.
Oof. Who did the anti-air? Tokido in control now. Couldn't do anything about that DI. He tried to blow a bubble. My man popped it in the nick of time. Excellent call with the DI too.
What a bully. Tokido. Because wait a minute, this feels good to DI somebody. Especially when they have no recourse. The forward throw. Drive rush stand pierce. The overhead, that's a counter combo incoming. Stab kick into level 3. Once again, the drive gauge, I agree. Much as possible. Disallow any sort of, if there is back to neutral sort of thing, no OD fireball to worry about, or drive rush medium, or it may be. Finds the opening off the low. OD Genrai, the trade conversion, but off Hikaru. Okay, hits the heavy to level 3. Watch the damn chat. Watch that. That's great, right?
Close to burnout. Actually in burnout. He's actually dead. There is absolutely nothing he can do. Tokido just has to sit there and take it. Okay, yeah, Venomous Fang, I was about to say, like, there's only one more shot, one more sequence that Hikaru needs to land, and it wasn't enough, but Venomous Fang is so difficult. If Tokido was actually goated, he would have DP'd the heck out of that Venomous Fang. If he actually got the heavy DP, I would have thrown my headset. Or, I don't have a headset. I would have thrown my chair across the room.
We're gonna do noise complaints now. We're already up on one. A little bit of second one. But, yo, Carl getting it done with the Ken. I don't foresee a switch. We know that Tokido does have a JP, but as many times as we've seen as his content is not developed all the way, people have already developed strong game plans for the character. That character does take a long time to learn at high level. It really needs to be just a switch up in terms of like the pressure that Tokido needs to get off. But honestly, Karu being a massive reward on the exchanges that he gets. He puts the poison on the damage. Obviously, that's the game plan for Aki. But it's where he's placing his buttons, the spacing and things like that he has. Tokido, and also draining the drive gauge has been a big proponent of how he's trying to play out here too as well. Making sure that there's no OD or putting him in these situations where he can't really fight back. And he's in the benefit. Karu, 2 games on Tokido. So get dicey for reject.
And not by too much, right? I think Hikaru has made some really, really smart plays according to the drive gauge management that Tokido's trying to play at. I think there's definitely been moments, like key moments, where Tokido's kind of put himself susceptible to mad damage because he's so weary of burnout. Like, we've seen the kind of damage Aki can do. Obviously, the Baroness of Burnout, we've given her so many different monikers for that state. I think there are moments where Tokido could be a little bit scarier with reversal DP rather than reversal button, right? If he's gonna get into burnout anyway, like why not spend the meter for something like a reversal super, reversal DP? Because like Hikaru's been pretty adamant about his meaties thus far, right?
Why not hit the ODDP? At least you're gonna get some distance and you're gonna at least get some room to breathe rather than hitting a jab that may or may not trade, or of course, as you mentioned, you're just gonna get meaty anyway, you're just gonna get counter damage. At that point, at least you're getting some more distance and you're getting some damage on your side of things. And you're not just going to get cooked up by a heavy kick, meaty, crouching light punch, whatever it may be. The decision making on defense has got to be adjusted. We've seen this before. Hikaru goes up. The Tokido's like, wait a minute, I have to adjust these things here and there. It makes the W happen. So we'll see if the defense gets a little bit better off. Maybe see more drive reversals as well to switch things off, or maybe more immediate reversals on wake up instead of waiting until a little bit later on, where he's almost to the precipice of draining all the drive gauge away. That might be the way to play on defense from Tokido. There's also some moments where I feel like he doesn't really commit. We saw a drive rush jab in the throw, which is, you can't be picture perfect about that all the time. But I'd like to see him go for some conversions that put him in the corner faster, right? I feel like he's going for drive rush throw a little bit more often than drive rush like, or maybe even walk back crouching medium kick or what have you. Or we can do the Shoto special everyone's doing. Drive rush jab and a walk back stand fierce, which has been catching so many people off guard. Let's see what Tokido does. Stand medium kick back on the menu though. That poke button moving a lot in this neutral.
Yeah, being able to pay that fee this time. Hikaru actually got away with a very early, like, jump forward down heavy punch against Tokido the last time that exchange happened. What is this? The drop of a combo. Tokido actually had Hikaru pretty much dead to rights, right? Because she was crouching. Huh. Well, Tokido, either way, salvaging the situation with a perfect.
Yeah. So that backstep, as mentioned, backstep stand fierce worked out for him though. Oh, Raw gets caught with the light bubble.
What a way to backdash. Yeah, Hikaru making the right read. Makes a lot of sense. A hit. Tried to go for a fierce. You had mentioned it, right? The Shoto special. A little bit of a stutter into the fierce. Hikaru was the one swinging, though. I think it's because he was well within range to do so, so I get it.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Point bar balloon for that level 3, man. Matchups don't matter. If you get hit with the poison level 3 coming through, put down the controller. Staggering the heavy kicks, the drive rushes right after. A lot of drive gauge depleted from the side of Tokido on both sides. But Hikaru can go to that Venom Spank, or he'll just find the anti-air. Drive rush crouching kick instead of a throw this time, switching it up. Gets the toss right after. Hold the trade. No super just yet.
Nice catch on the medium kick. Tokido spending the bar rather early. Does that ensure the burnout? It does not. He lays back all the way in his chair. Job's not finished. Hikaru's trying to move. He's definitely trying to move and prevent burnout.
Continuously trying to hit confirm. Is Hikaru? I'm the Baron of burnout right now. How does it feel? Says Tokido. Rotatsu. That could not be even what he wanted. Punish. And Tokido's gonna take it after a really weird error to the final game. I don't know what that Tatsu was though. I could not tell you. What was that?
The Tatsu is one thing, but the interaction is another. It clipped the normal that was extended, and I get that. It was a punish counter. But the fact that it's not plus enough to continue on with the rest of the hits because of the distance, that's mad weird. That is extremely stressful if you're Tokido.
Very odd interactions in this game so far, but Tokido. Hey man, final game. I never liked the way he's playing. We mentioned like the backstep stand fierce, like that's a good shimmy tool. I mean, Tokido did it once a little bit. He did a micro walk back in the stand fierce, and that definitely helped out. Hikaru took that word for band for band right there, landed his own punish. But I do like that Tokido is switching up what he does after drive rush. He's not just going for immediate drive rush jab, medium punch, or throw. He's doing backstep stand fierce. He's switching up what he does in terms of if I go for the Jin Rai, what I'm going to do after this. Like you see the different steps and the different divergent paths come through. It's harder for Hikaru to contest because obviously, and again, the defense is not good for that character. You have to bust out for level 1. You'd rather hold onto that bar for what Hikaru was looking for previously before the round ended. Crouch, fierce, and a super. Like that's what you're looking for more often. You don't want to spend that bar for defense. You want to spend it for offense. Tokido put him on the back foot continuously to make him have to make a hard decision. Now, honestly, I'm going to say something really grazing, really simple. Hikaru might have to hit that level 1, man. He might just have to bust out with that super. Because honestly, you're getting pieced up. Your draw gauge is getting depleted. He's the Baron of burnout. He's taking over your lane. Hit the level 1, man. You're going to have to figure out a time to hit that level 1 in between some of these strings and make Tokido fearful once again.
That is funny enough. Yeah, that sounds pretty solid. Like it's tough to kind of make that read as an Aki player for sure, but I think it's definitely well solicited, right? In moments where Tokido is eager to get the burnout, instead of trying to jump out of the way, you know the meat is coming, right? Like, if you're going to get punished for something, you might as well go all out, right? I think both have... That exact sentiment could have been applied to both Hikaru and Tokido when we saw those very close burnout moments.
People who are really good at least reading the defensive moments hit the supers in terms of like Aki players, even though it's hard. Hikaru has had some of the best success, right? So in terms of bust out supers, he's been better off than most. I feel like his game plan has a little bit of that in there. And like if, you know, he catches people walking back with like driver's crouching meter kick in the super, for example, he'll also utilize that as like a chase down feature. So if it's going to be someone to do it, be Hikaru. Final game though between the two. He's better on defense. Run DP through the fireball. They can waste the bar and the shit. Finesse and bless this man towards the corner. Ooh, he's ready.
Yeah, that's the second time he's shown that off, right? Tokido now with a very substantial life lead. There it is, the fierce to the face. You were looking for that exact measure. Tokido finding all the right parts to put it all together. But can he survive this onslaught now from Hikaru? Hikaru's the one kind of forced to back away a little bit. No, he's actually going in with the drive rush. This is going to be huge, nice and easy. Tokido looking at match point, all from a very, very significant start.
Trying to get the ether in though. Lash, dash up, take him towards the corner, apply the poison at the very tip of it. No air there, wasn't able to catch. Carl resetting the neutral. Walk up to the same medium. Tokido did not go for the target combo after the chin buster, but he's doing A-OK right now. Toss him like yesterday's trash. Walk up throw again.
Oh, Tokido. You called it! Tokido delivers! Max damage! More than enough in the tank. Jinrai level 3, sanded. That is Reject taking home the big W. Tokido, yet again, what did we talk about earlier on? How did it play out at EWC between Hikaru and Tokido? The exact same way you see here. Tokido with the reverse 3-0. Back-to-back W's against the Aki main. Ken still putting out his worth in the streets. You love to see it.
Good show, though. But I'll tell you that win condition, one of the easiest to access, but it's what Tokido does with that, right? And the understanding that, like, eventually you're gonna have to super. I know that you're feeling the pressure at some eventual point, as we discussed, you're going to have to wake up super. You're getting harassed continuously. You're going up in the corner against Ken. You're gonna bust out. Tokido at that exact moment, holding parries how you explicitly know he was looking out for that option and able to get that sick conversion at the very end. Definitely a back and forth at the beginning. You know, we saw Tokido was down 2 games as per mentioned, as previously as well, but this is where he turns up like volume. This man just had the proper timing with the fireballs, even like right there, going for OD fireball instead of a normal one. Understanding that the Venomous Fang is not going to catch at that distance. Perfectly done. You can just tell the matchup knowledge is there too as well. We saw Run P against the fireball at the proper timing. Yeah, some weird errors were here and there, but for him to be able to close it out and be like, yo, that's fine. I'll be able to clutch this out. A-OK. Tokido, man. That's why he said reject losses, reject or limits. Still kicking it with the kid, as you mentioned. I mean, this character's so good. Like, yeah, there are matchups that are not so good for him that he's still trying to develop. But I still think the character can do what he needs to do. 30 points at 10. Reject takes down the ZETA Division Geekly, excuse me. That is, wow. You know, Reject is kind of like the front-running team for a lot of people, I feel. But to see the way they played today, Sans Lashar it puts a lot of good thoughts in my mind in terms of putting my faith in Reject, right? To take it towards the championships. And for many people, I'm assuming. For Lashar, this loss is only going to embolden him to be better. Again, take these losses now so it don't become worse later on.
No doubt. This is a little bit of a different story too when you have one of your key players not being able to play, right? I'm not going to say that attributes to their loss tonight. I mean, Hikaru, Tokido, who could have expected to come down to that exact fashion, right? Hikaru was definitely looking like he was going to be the main man of success with 2-0, but there's just something about Tokido's adaptation, right? The way that Tokido had set the pace earlier on to force some of the big, I want to say high stress point moments against Hikaru is what kind of put him over the top, right? Hikaru had been kind of tested in the drive gauge department a bunch, and also like the spacing and timing department a bunch over as well towards the very end of it, that allowed Tokido to kind of take advantage, like full advantage of that entire matchup. So I still personally think between those two, like Hikaru, it feels kind of even-ish on paper for characters, but on like the player to player, Tokido's just got the veteran experience, man.
He's like a Batman. He gets the data, he's able to work from that, and he's able to cook up right after he gets everything in order. You know, some of these things that the character can do lead to that. Drive rush jab into waiting to see what they're going to do. That sounds like a very simple thing, but for like Kid, and for the way that Tokido wants to play, and maybe that's why he doesn't want to play Akuma. Like, there's something about the way that Ken can gather the data, what you want to do, how antsy you get on defense with Jinrai, drive rush jab, step stand fierce. Those are things that maybe Akuma can do, but the Jinrai may be like a determining factor of gathering even more data enough to be able to execute the game plan that he needs to execute the person. Now, we are getting the interviews. Daigo said, just play as they did in practice. Might start to have to believe in them. Lashar said, it's sad that I have to start like the last season, but this year I have a lot of characters ready. I'll win it in the next episode. So I have to wonder if he'll switch it up against an Ed if he comes through. Will it be not the mine, but maybe the Terry? Because I keep seeing him play Terry versus Ed on CFN and practice that, but never see it in like a tournament match, and I hope to see that executed later on. And Fudo says it was a good game for all the players. The practice really worked out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of intricacies that have gone on in this matchup too. Like Fudo, what else is there to say about like the way he executed his matchup? Like some really big hit confirms and spacing traps that he had against Hikaru really played off. Lashar actually testing out the waters with Ed in the mirror match rather than going with Mai and Terry. There's a lot of promise there now to see how that plays out. But granted, I don't think Lashar is gonna fight off against any other Eds this season, right? Unless Zeta Division decides to put Momochi in that matchup again. So we'll have to say and wait for the second round robin. Tokido, with his ending remarks, really happy to win really happy to be able to win like that. Really big thanks to the support of the team and the fans. Next up is Hiroshima Team Iguza, and we are the away side. We will do our best to beat them down.
You have Ed on that team though. That the new kid. Fidelity, like he could pull up the Ed, so there might be a chance for another Ed to pull up one, and might see a switch up for Lashar. But until then, we'll get there when we get there, bro. But I want to see that match. I want to see the evolution of Lashar and what he does against these Ed players. Like, okay, I have a problem. What's my solution? How do I fix that? I love that for players out here, especially at league, because you get these run backs in terms of like character to character or player to player or whatever. But also you get to see them have to fight another character a little later on with a player manning, maybe a different pilot, but maybe they have a different idea on how to fight that. So. That being said, you know, Hiroshima being up next is going to be a clutch one. That's going to be a sick one. But this one was super great. Yes. To see Zeta in reject. I hope we get to see Kakadu in the next episode. Hopefully he feels better by that point and he's getting his rest. But, you know, that doesn't take anything away from Zeta. Again, take these losses now so you turn them into W's later, a little bit later on. I think these players on Reject were just playing way too on fire, especially Fudo. Just the way you convert and make everything into something super damaging. You don't really typically see that from Ed players. They're usually pecking away here and there. Sometimes they do have the conversions to follow up with the flicker follow-up, canceling that does access more damage this season. But there's something about Fudo, man, that just it feels like that character is hitting just as hard as any other character in all regards. So Fudo, I need to go back and watch that even more so because that guy is godlike. But that scores it away. You know, points on the side of Reject. They walk away the victor.
Really insane and really intense matches all the way through. Like, it's kind of crazy to see that every single matchup turned out 10-30. We still have yet to find any big blowouts. I feel like a lot of the teams and the results have been pretty even. Thus far, a lot of the players pulling their weight, and I'm really, really appreciative of that. seeing how close everything is and how we've come so far from prepping for League to the final execution of day one. So that's only 1 week down. We got plenty more to go. You did make a very, very valid statement. Hiroshima Team Ikuza being the next matchup for Reject, them being the winners against Detonation FocusMe has pulled off a pretty significant surprise for a lot of people, myself included. Like, you have such a stacked veteran lineup through Detonation FocusMe, but then you had so many moments of pure outplay in the matchups between like Hibiki and Nauman, Adley and Goichi. I am kind of curious to see how they go up against one of the top-seeded teams, and I will say that with confidence, right? Reject is definitely one of the top-seeded teams out here, just based off of CPT performances and also just like the way they look, right? I mean, it's hard to discern otherwise, but I am very excited to see what matchups are going to be held weeks going forward. Very healthy spread of characters, right?
Yeah, you know, obviously there's Mai out here, but you see a lot of specialists, you know, people that are developing their character and taking them to the limit with the Lily, with the Eds as well. A lot of variants of the Ed. You see one footsie base, one more technical, and the other one just with pure aggression and making every conversion count. And some of them just using level 3, some of them just using level 2, whatever. You know, the variances there, even between the characters that we have that are repeated. So, like, that's the cool thing about League is that nobody really plays similar, even though we see some characters repeated. And really, we see a lot of different characters just overall. We're going to be seeing JP at some point as well. Well, I didn't. You got to. But hopefully I get to see it next time.
Insane, by the way.
But overall, man, you know, sometimes technology doesn't like me like that. I just...
Do I get to like sit out the week number 2? Do I get to just skip the first match and just have you do it? Can we make that happen? Can I show up late to work? I'm kidding. I would never do that. I would never do that. It was fun.
You held it down. You held it down. I appreciate you for doing that because, you know, technology and me, we're fighting tooth and nail right there. But hope you all enjoyed this action. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. But I definitely want to go back and watch all the matches. On some real stuff, I feel like Street Fighter League is so great because you see these players prepare for the character and the player to player. There's so much depth that comes from every one of these matches because they know who they're going to fight, they know who they're going to prepare against, and they know have to go against in terms of like their player composition as well. So it gives a lot of insight to Street Fighter 6 and where the meta is at, and I want to see what changes up. Maybe we do get a patch when C5 drops, because I remember at the midway point last year we did get a patch in between Street Fighter League when we were taking a 2-week break or something like that. So maybe that happens again, maybe that doesn't. Either way, here's the spread right here: 30 Hiroshima Team Ikuza on Detonation FocusMe, pardon me, FUKUSHIMA, IBUSHIGIN 10-30, VARREL taking that one, and then of course Reject we just saw taking it 30-10 on ZETA.
Damn, dude, I'm 2 out of 3 again. That's wild. I honestly thought it was gonna be Detonation FocusMe taking out the first game. I mean, it's just one of those things, like we kind of go back and forth, like myself, Senkola, and the production team. We kind of like figure out who's gonna possibly take it out during the you know, throughout the weeks. But it's always fun to kind of speculate just based off of like recent performances, and then also getting it kind of like blown out of proportion and blown out of the water. It gives me a lot of hope and promise to see like how these teams have prepped and how they execute, right? It's one thing to have like a week to think about what's gonna happen, and another to actually see it come to fruition. So this is one of the best parts about the job, being able to watch like top tier players get put under fire and under pressure and seeing if they are able to like rise above the occasion. But this is what the first week looks like for all of us here in Division F. VARREL, Reject, Hiroshima Team Ikuza getting 30 points apiece, with VARREL taking the best performance of the week, getting a ton of games under their belt consecutively. Actually, wait, let me see. Technically, I want to say VARREL. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is VARREL. So, okay. VARREL is definitely at the top because they had 5 wins in a row, and Mizuho actually got a W for himself 2 in between. So, not a full blowout. VARREL, very much so in the lead with a very much so better battle record overall. Because that is kind of sick. TS didn't drop a game. Mago didn't drop a game. Like, you compare it to like the other two, Hiroshima Team Ikuza, like, Aqua lost both of his matches. Hibiki won both of his. Adley brought it down to the final game, final round. So you can see the differential there. Then the rest of this follows suit with ZETA Division. But this is what's to expect from September 5th, Division S, Nagoya NTP Oja going up against Victrix Favu Gaming. CAG Osaka versus Good 8 Squad? Hot damn. Then the marquee matchup, Crazy Raccoon versus Saishun Console Kumamoto. Absolutely stacked on both divisions. And man, I can't wait to see this lineup happen.
Me too. I can't wait to see if we see any Sagat. And then we get FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN going up against DetonatioN FocusMe, as mentioned. VARREL against ZETA. Reject versus HIROSHIMA Team Itsuka. These are all stacked matches. They're absolutely insane. And I want to see who pulls out what characters we go to. Is Kakudo going to come back with a Sagat? I've seen him on the CFN. Is Fugara going to be able to play with that Sagat? We're going to see what the character does in his hands out here at the league. Will we see Mami Masorisa from Itabashi? There are so many questions that I can't wait to see answered. And we get to see some of the best in the land of Japan, if not the best in the land of Japan. And here's the full schedule. Screenshot it. Take a picture with your phone. Do what you're going to do so you know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to take a break because you see UFA is going to be coming through. You get the full schedule and other things that are going on in the land of Japan. We get the playoff dates are all lined up. You got your CPTs in terms of the World Warriors all in the last couple of months. And of course, we've got the finals. The finals all at the very end. And then, once again, is the schedule. If you didn't catch it the first time, I'm going to catch it right now. As mentioned, UFA will have a little bit of a break. We'll get back to the regular programming that we are used to experiencing. And there are just so many days of Street Fighter League play, man. This is the best part. The second part of the year for me, I love this because we get to wake up, experience some great Street Fighter all the way through the next couple of months. Can't ask for much more.
Dude, these calendars really put a smile on my face. It is absolutely packed. And then we have big offline majors in between, right? September has UFA. October has the big one with Evo France. I am truly ecstatic about everything going on in the CPT. And you guys should be as well, right? We have a good combination of both offline, online, high-end Street Fighter, great exhibitions in between, and also a lot of DLC in the works, right? We have the big collab with Monster Hunter. We're getting the full-on extra colors for a lot of these characters. And also, we have potential DLC coming out with new characters. I don't know when Sea Viper is going to be dropping, but I hope it's soon because I really want to see some of these players pick up this character and also what she's about. But really excited to see everything that's coming out the woodwork from Capcom. It's going to be a great time. Hey, that's our time for Division F. You guys don't want to miss it for the next one. Division S coming your way. We'll see you in a few days. In the meantime, we hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, everybody. We'll see you guys soon.
評判の高いハイライト動画こちら流してのお別れとさせていただきます。それではディビジョン S 第2節でまたお会いいたしましょう。さよなら。さよなら。このディビジョン F のガチの初戦バーンとするとやばい。次はベイビーフェイスジョーカーのターン。誘って追いたい。投げ圏内ラッシュフェイト。はいオッケーナイスゴイどすかいどすかいだったりとかまあうわー確認だねサンダーバードオッケー活躍して活躍したい活躍する活躍しましょう頑張りましょう頑張って頑張ってゴーちゃんゴーちゃんいけるよ確認してるうまい下回るけどここじゃないガード早めに来たところを返したパーフェクト KO これは踏み込んでいるかパーリーしてるパーリーしている残らんだろうこれで2連勝きたーラス玉抜け大株を奪いましたサイコチェンバーファコードはその盾を突き破ったうわこれはいったこれはいった絶対いったお株奪ったうわナイスだやったーアデリやったナイスお前すごいよやったお前すごいやれることです少なくしてそうですね CA の勝負手がおお相打ちうますぎでかすぎマジでいやいい距離ステップからそのまま止まって投げていかり持続セット引きつけて中段パーフェクトしかも偉いしかもコパで選んでそのままリーサル TS 完璧いやしょうがないしょうがないなんか危ねえしかも安いけど安い SA1 溜まっているさあ深い風破山ス トレート2本目きたーにいたそしてもゲージは溜まっている SA3 ガッツポーズが出ました。やはり9月は神話の始まり。
オーケー。よっしゃー。
ありがとう。
さすが。
いやいや勝ちましたよ。
あざしたあざした。
あよかった。
いや嬉しい。
いっぱいだったら絡みそう。
上来た見てる
シゲージ。
なるほど。ターゲットからの
ターゲット SA1
この投げは
なるほど。
なるほど。
こっちも打つ？いやそれとも逆転の選択がむずいか。
桃地が
バリーを掴んだ。
投げる。
おお素晴らしい。いいね。
うわー
マジ？
どっちがいるじゃん。
どっちなんだろう。
カウンターの中継。
中継にフリッカーからのサイコチェンバー。
ギリ残るか。
どうだ？
切れない。
残った。
50%。
インパクトは受け止められない状況。どう来る？どうとどめ？ここは細かくフリッカー。
おい。お見事。よしよしよしよしよし。
そうですね。だか。
毒を設置、コンボ完走すれば勝利となり。たどうだ？
バ
リー構えている。そして粉塵竜巻ルート。さあ今日
ゲージだ。
見えている戦火客からガッツポーズ。新入レッパー今年こそ優勝一本へ。
まあ。
見えている戦火。さあ今日見えている戦火客からガッツポーズ。新入レッパー
ナイス。
優勝一本へ。リジェクト対象特等。素晴らしい逆転。
なんかいいところと悪いところ多かったわ。でもコンボとか対策が完璧でした。
ああいいな。